You just...
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to PlayOnSports.com. Fred Landis joined alongside me. I'm Sean Hennessy, broadcasting to you live from Pioneer High School. It's Gunderson versus Pioneer here in week number 2 in the Central Coast section. Fred, what an atmosphere we have here at Pioneer High School. We're broadcasting this one to you live from the stand section. So for the folks at home, take a look at the video monitor. You're probably picking up a lot of the volume here on the sideline. Fred, this is the Battle of the Bell, a big rivalry between Gunderson and Pioneer. It just doesn't get much bigger than this.
No, it doesn't. And a lot of these youngsters know each other. They've grown up together. It's going to be a fun evening here this evening between the Grizzlies and the Mustangs, and we're looking forward to a great ball game with the Mustangs looking to bounce back from their double overtime loss last week to San Benito, while Gunderson knocked off Lynbrook, and they're looking to continue their momentum here tonight.
The key story, if you take a look at the roster, if you look at Gunderson and what they have to offer, a host of injuries for Gunderson. How do you see that affecting him here today? Because you look down on that roster sheet, Fred, they've got at least 10 to 12 players that aren't going to be suited up here tonight.
Yeah, it could cause a little bit of a depth issue for Coach Papin, and the offensive attack by Pioneer, well, we'll know certainly in the third or fourth quarter whether that wears them down or not.
Gunderson will be kicking things off here in the ball game, going right to left, wearing the all-blue uniforms with the white helmets. Gunderson, the Grizzlies, will be wearing the white uniforms with the yellow helmets. They'll be returning the football. We're underway from Pioneer High School. The up man will take it from the 12-yard line, going to the left side. That's Clark as he gets tackled up around the 21.
Yeah, that was just a pooch kick. Tashawn picked it up near the sideline, got it back into play to give the Grizzlies a start.
Right from the get-go, we're going to get a chance to see Gunderson's offense. They run this high-option offense. It's similar to a Nebraska-style 1990s offense, is what Coach Steve Papin described to us, Fred. It should be an exciting offense to watch.
Yes, it should. A lot of spread formation, pitch right, pitch left, into the old wishbone. See if that confuses the defense.
Sophomore quarterback Deshaun Packer will line up under center. He has one wide receiver to his left, one to his right. Moving left to right on your screen. It will be a handoff to Nick Melchor, and Melchor goes right side for a gain of 3.
Yeah, Melchor had a lot of carries last week, had a great game against Lynbrook. They're going to be needing him tonight here to help keep that Pioneer offense off the field, Sean.
Second down.
4-yard gain on the play.
And about 6
second down and 6.
Following the 4-yard rush. First quarter action here at Pioneer High School. This is Melchor once again going left side. Whistles blow, but a nice gain on the ground close to 5. It's going to bring up
the ball carrier.
Having some luck running over the left side there, Sean. The coach may have found something. They're very good with their routine, running that wishbone offense. They practice the pitching the ball. They practice a lot of those handoffs. If they can establish their running momentum here this evening and get some rhythm with that run game, it could be a problem for Pioneer, but they've got to be able to keep up their momentum as they now take the play. Here at about the 29-yard line, Tayshawn Clark takes it and looks like he's very close to the first down, and I think he's got it. The refs are looking it on right now, and it's a first down, and I think that's the kind of the offense that the Grizzlies are hoping to do here this evening. Sean, because they've got to be able to keep that Pioneer offense off the field. And this I wishbone formation is just the offense to do it, to chew up some clock. As they're back down now to the snap, handoff back to Melcher. This time he's wrapped up with the left side. He's actually lost a couple of yards. And it's going to be, looks like a second down and about 12. Now the Mustangs, sensing that, made some adjustments along that side of the line, shot the gap, made the tackle on Melcher. Melcher had a big game last week. As I mentioned earlier, he's the chief ball carrier here for the Gunderson Grizzlies. Now the Grizzlies out with 3 men wide right. And Clark under center, bubble screen out to DeJohn Packer, and Packer is tackled for a loss, and he's back. Now it's going to be 3rd and about 15 for the Grizzlies.
Tackled for a loss by Dominic Barnes.
It's going to bring up 3rd down and 15 here, folks. We apologize for the technical difficulties. We'll try to get those finished in just a moment. 9 minutes and 24 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. It's Gunderson, it's Pioneer. It's the battle for the bell. The winner of this gets bragging rights to a beautiful bell-like trophy. 3rd down and 15. Gunderson going left to right on your screen. Ball on the 28-yard line for Gunderson. Quarterback under center, rolls out to the far side. This is Ortega. He fires down the field, has a target overthrown. It's going to bring up 4th down.
That was a nice pass by Ortega. Yeah, he had it on the rollout, just overshot his receiver, who was pretty well covered. And if the Grizzlies are going to be successful here tonight, they don't want to be making a lot of passes, Sean.
It's going to bring up 4th down here, and we expect to see Ulysses Merritt coming on to punt the ball away for Gunderson. Gunderson with that impressive victory last week, Fred, against Limbrook. They were really moving the ball well on the ground. If you look at this offense, I know they were unable to convert here, but that's going to be the story of the night, how well they're able to utilize their rushing attack.
Yes, they are. They ran for over 200 yards last week, and it's that kind of ground attack that keeps the Pioneer offense off the field and wears down that opponent. It'll be a little tougher bill here tonight as the punt gets off.
Jeremy Aguinez will let it bounce in front of his own 35-yard line, and it takes a Grizzly bounce down to the 5, past the 4. A heck of a punt right there by Merritt as it rolls down to the 12-yard line, just outside the 10. So a nice punt right there by Merritt. Stops the clock with 8 minutes and 49 seconds remaining here in the opening quarter. And we'd like to tell you what's so special about this game, folks. As Fred Landis is joined alongside me, I'm Sean Hennessy. It's the battle for the bell, entering its 29th year here in the San Jose area of California. It's the Gunderson Grizzlies and the Pioneer Mustangs. We're bringing this one to you live from Pioneer High School. Like we said, a matchup in 29 years in the making. The winner of this game will get to hold on to a bell-like trophy, and last year Pioneer just took Gunderson all the way down, racking up more than 50 points, and they currently hold on to that trophy right now.
Yes, they do, and don't you think the boys coming back for Gunderson haven't forgotten that one, Sean. As Coach Papen will have his team fired up here tonight for this ball game. The way they see it, as the coach calls them, they're the little kids across town, and they have nothing to lose but to give it all.
1st and 10 for Pioneer. They're going to start their first offensive series of the ball game on their own 13-yard line. We're in the first quarter, 8 minutes and 49 seconds. We're going to get a chance to see Drew Freihoff, the starting quarterback for the Mustangs. He's a big guy. When you take a look at the roster sheet, listed down around 6'4", 190 pounds. We're going to see him sling the football. He's got a great quarterback coach, Jason Campbell, making his way out of my alma mater, Del Mar High School. 1st and 10 for Pioneer. Expect the Grizzlies to show a 4-2-5 defensive look, and they do. It's going to be a handoff towards the left side. And this is going to be Barnes, Dominic Barnes, taking it over towards the left side for a gain of 3.
And Barnes had a good game last week in their losing effort to San Benito. And the Mustangs run a wing T, Sean, where it really gives them a lot of options on offense. It does require some great timing and a lot of discipline by the offensive line to move together in order to be efficient, avoid penalties and offsides.
Gain of 6 in that last play will bring up 2nd down and 4. Freihoff loses the ball and decides to fall on it around the 15-yard line. That's going to be a loss of about 3, maybe even 4. So early on here, Fred, we see some mistakes by the Pioneer offense.
So you could see just how important that timing is, as Fryoff was looking to scramble out of the pocket. It was looking like it could have been just an option play to his right, and he sort of left before the ball got to him, John.
7 minutes and 50 seconds remaining here in the opening quarter. No score between Gunderson and Pioneer. 3rd down and 8. This is the wing T formation you're witnessing. Man in motion from left to right. That's Neely. Neely gets the call, has a blocker, and finally upended just past the 20-yard line. He'll be about 2 yards shy of the 1st down marker.
Yeah, Neely's got some real good speed, almost made it around the edge. The contained man stopped him on the outside, and that'll bring on 4th down, and it looks like along 2 yards, Sean.
6-yard gain on the play. Brings up 4th
Matt
down and 2.
Bloomquist, the punter for the Mustangs, lines up inside his own 10-yard line. So Pioneer unsuccessful on their first opening series. They will go 3 and out, back deep to return the ball for Gunderson, standing at about his own 45-yard line. It's going to be Noah Evaristo. Beg your pardon, this is Dejon Packer, the quarterback, who is also the punt returner, who let it bounce and fall at the 37-yard line.
And that's what the Grizzlies wanted here tonight, Sean. Keep that offense off the field. Don't give them the rhythm that they are capable of having on offense with that wing T. And now the Grizzlies, with a 3 and out to their favor, get a chance to establish that run.
Coach Papin, well aware of the injuries that his Gunderson Grizzly football team is going to have to make do in this particular matchup. But they put up some very nice stats last week versus Lynbrook. Dejon Packer had 4 carries for 79 yards and a touchdown, and Nick Melchor had 16 carries for 101 and 2 TDs on the ground as well. So this is a rushing offense that is very elusive, but they're going to have their work cut out for them against this very, very tough 3-3-5 Pioneer defense.
Yeah, they're going to need another game like out of Melchor tonight, Sean, to be successful.
1st and 10 for the Grizzlies on their own 37. Handoff as the tailback bowls ahead, bounces off some tacklers, and will be marked down at the 42-yard line.
And that's just about the kind of play they need. Right off tackle, 5 yards per carry. If they can get that with each carry tonight, Sean, they're going to be doing some damage here on offense.
2nd down and 5 now for Gunderson. Ball on the right hash mark, moving left to right on your screen in the white uniforms. This is Melchor at the 40. Flag thrown as he powers ahead towards the near sideline.
It looked like it could have been a hold there on the right tackle, Mel Sotelo. We'll wait for the call and see, but that's the kind of play they can't really afford to have. They need positive yards because of the amount of runs and amount of rushing they do. They can't afford losses, and it is a hold, Sean.
Ball is holding on the Grizzlies.
So that'll push the Grizzly offense back 10 yards. Correction on the name call, that's Nick Melchor, the ball carrier, who has taken the ball in those last 2 carries, so he goes out of bounds, but it won't do him any good as the flag is thrown for a holding call. This will push Gunderson back 10 yards. So now the ball is placed on the 32-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 15, 6 minutes and 12 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. No score between Gunderson and Pioneer. Noah Evaristo, the wide receiver on your screen, spread out towards the right side. Whistles blow. And we may have an early timeout here, and it will be called by the Grizzlies. So Gunderson burns their first timeout with 6 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the first quarter. They'll have 2 remaining. Pioneer with 3 timeouts remaining. Fred Landis joined alongside me. I'm Sean Hennessy. And so far, Fred, your early impressions of these offense really not doing too much, kind of stumbling so far.
Yeah, they're feeling each other out, Sean. I think the Grizzlies certainly wanting to establish that momentum on the ground. And they've had some nice running plays, but you can see what a 15-yard holding penalty can do to a running offense. Really sets them back and makes them now in a passing situation, something they really don't like to do. As for the Mustangs, that fumble on the snap really hurt their momentum here on offense and forced them into a 3-and-out.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned, you know, the passing offense for Gunderson, or I guess you could say lack thereof, last week versus Lynbrook with only 4 total pass attempts, and that was a combination of Dejon Packer and Victor Ortega, who switched off at quarterback. Ortega actually had the bulk of the throws in that ball game, but Fred, with just 4 attempts, do you get nervous for your offense when they're so one-dimensional?
You absolutely do, and that defense now can plan around it. But I think Coach Papin threw a pass early on just to keep that defense off balance.
2nd down and 15 following the timeout. This is Packer throwing to the far sideline, and it goes through his wideout's hands. He was looking for the quick slant. That was Eric Najaro, who actually had it go through both hands, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, most of the time they will have Ortega pass the ball. He's their passing quarterback. Packer, on the other hand, is their mobile quarterback. You would expect him to get a lot of runs. He'll get a lot of yardage on the ground, as they did last week against Lynbrook.
That was Eric Naharo. Eric Naharo with the incomplete reception as it goes off his fingertips. 3rd and 15. Packer flushed out, and he goes down, but he coughs up the football. It bounces loose, and the Mustangs recover. Packer with all sorts of pressure. He had nowhere to go, and he ends up going down, and that ball is recovered by Gabriel. Gabriel will actually get credit for the sack, but coming up with the fumble recovery for Pioneer at the very last second, diving on the play, was Isaiah Milo coming up with the fumble recovery.
Yeah, that time he got right around the edge, right around the big tackle. Number 56, Sotelo, and Sotelo is probably the largest player on the field, is vulnerable to that pass rush coming off the edge, Sean.
So now Pioneer with great field position. It'll be 1st and 10 from the Grizzly 12. Pioneer going right to left on your screen. Handoff left side, room to work, end zone, touchdown Mustangs. Dominic Barnes piles ahead and punches it in for 6 as Pioneer strikes first.
And you see the impact that turnovers have on momentum in a ball game and a rivalry game like this, Sean. That quick turnover by the Grizzlies really left a nice open lane on the left side of that line for the Mustangs to score quite easily on that run.
PAT attempt for the Mustangs, up and good, and that was River Brill with the PAT try. 7-0 is our score. Pioneer on top of Gunderson with 5 minutes and 52 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Fred Landis joined alongside me. I'm Sean Hennessy. Gunderson 1-0 on the season, but let's talk a little bit about Pioneer now, Fred, as they lead this ball game early 7-0. They had a very tough game last week against San Benito out of Hollister, California. Double overtime loss. And when you talk to Coach Perry on the field, you can tell he was kind of hurt about that game, but his kids just let it all out on the field in that game. Double overtime loss, hard to swallow.
Yeah, the Heartbreak Hotel. They were up 14-0 and still managed, unfortunately, lose the game in the second overtime. They really smelled victory. San Benito, though, is a highly ranked team. That was a competitive ball game, and Pioneer showed what they have just to compete with a top-tier team. And they look like they've come back here tonight, Sean, not hanging their heads, but knowing that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the Mount Hamilton division this year.
Pioneer will kick things off following Dominic Barnes' rushing touchdown. This will be Clark, who falls in the football at the last second out of bounds. So Gunderson will have the ball around their own 16-yard line. Their offense will head out onto the field, moving left to right. Gunderson with the yellow helmets, white uniforms. And how about this, Fred? A full house here at Pioneer High School, as even the broadcast crew, which consists of me, my videographer, Fred Landis, and Kevin, our producer, we're bobbing and weaving as they're shooting T-shirts into the crowd.
Yeah, I'm not going to extend my arm too long. I may just grab one of those, Sean. It's you're really feeling part of the crowd here at this exciting ball game.
5 minutes, 49 seconds left in the first quarter. Pioneer 7, Gunderson 0. Gunderson moving left to right. 1st and 10, handoff to the fullback. It appears that was Felipe Negron who took the carry for a gain of a couple.
Number 20, the ball
And
carrier.
they're going to show that dive play every now and again to keep that defense
Joe
off
Landry,
balance.
Joe Landry on the tackle.
It takes a real finesse timing offense here
4-yard gain
when
on
you're
the play.
running the eye and the
2nd and
wishbone.
6.
But at 4 yards a carry, if they can hold on to the ball, they can keep that offense off the field. And I like the call on 1st down, Sean.
Correction, Tayshawn Clark, the ball carrier on that last play. 2nd down and 5. This is Clark once again, and he's tied up, nowhere to go at the line of scrimmage, and he was hit right away. And coming up and making that tackle was Russell Neely at the ankles.
Number 20.
Yeah, that time Clark, they shot the gap on him. Actually may have lost a little bit of yardage on that play. And this brings 3rd and long, not situations that Grizzlies want to be in tonight.
3rd down and 6 following Neely's tackle. Pioneer lines up in a 3-3-5 defense. If you're wondering what a 3-3-5 defense is, or if you're trying to compare it to a college team, think of what West Virginia runs. That Big 12 team now, formerly of the Big East, West Virginia. They switch conferences for the NCAA. They run a 3-3-5, and that's what the Mustangs do. 3rd down and 6. Packer takes it himself, and he gets tripped up, nowhere to go. He'll be short as it's 4th down.
As I said earlier, they'll use him to run the ball. He's got great perimeter speed. He's just a sophomore. Coach Papin thinks very highly of him. That time at 3rd and 6, Pioneer knew what was going to be happening. They were going to try to run to the outside and made the stop, forced him into 4th down.
4th and 2.
It'll be 4th down and 2 here for Gunderson. Offenses a little bit far. Pioneer's defense actually was able to give them that beautiful field position, and Dominic Barnes punched it in on the Mustangs' last offensive series. So that ball is booted away. The punt returner will let it bounce, and it actually takes a Mustang bounce towards the 49-yard line. So here's Pioneer with their offense getting ready to come out onto the field. But there is a flag on the play. We'll wait to see what the flag is. George Gwendon, our head referee in tonight's matchup.
Yeah, that time Marat didn't quite get the punt he had the first time. He had a marvelous punt downfield. High spiral, end over end bounce, took a Grizzly bounce. This time it took a Mustang bounce. And the Grizzlies rather, can't afford to give a short field to the Mustangs here tonight, Sean.
Gunderson out of the Santa Teresa League, Pioneer out of the Mount Hamilton, but these two teams playing for more than just some non-conference bragging rights. This is for the Battle of the Bell, a series that has been going back nearly 30 years. Pioneer with the bragging rights, they won last season, and they're going to try to hold on to it for another year.
Yeah, these coaches know each other well, Sean. They actually played against each other in high school and in college, so they know each other quite well, and it's, I guess you'd say, a friendly rivalry at that, watching them beforehand, before the game.
So Pioneer, 1st and 10.
Penalty on the play, illegal use of the hands committed by Gunderson. Pioneer will maintain possession of the football. The officials will spot it down on the right hash mark on the 48-yard line. Mustangs head back out onto the field. Blue uniforms with the white helmets, white trim, white lettering. Moving right to left on your screen, 3 minutes and 47 seconds left in the first quarter. It's the Mustangs 7, Grizzlies nothing. Freihoff checking to his right. Now he's directly under center with two backs behind him. Here comes the wing T look. Man in motion right to left. Freihoff, play action, under pressure, eludes one man and gets absolutely drilled at the 40-yard line. He had nowhere to go, and one of the first people to meet him was Ulysses Merritt. He had the initial hit.
Yeah, the punter, Marat, As you can see, he's got a lot of athleticism. He's the kicker, the punter, and as we can see, a great defender. The play action, they were not fooled by there, Sean, as he shot the gap, made the tackle, had a lot of company doing it.
Merritt plays the defensive end position for Gunderson, and he came right in there and just smacked the quarterback, Drew Freihoff. In fact, you could even see his helmet lift up a little bit, but Freihoff appears to be okay. 2nd down and 18. Following the sack, handoff to the far side, flag is thrown. On the carry right there was Russell, but there is a flag on the play.
Yeah, probably a hold, Sean, on the right side of that line. Neely there with a nice carry. He's able to, if he can get, he's got the speed to get around that corner, and if he does, it's going to be trouble for the Grizzlies. But a holding call, it would appear, is going to set the Mustangs back on this play.
Russell Neely, the ball carrier, but there was a holding call on the play. Offensive line consists of Golpassion, Harrell, Brookbank, Rapp, and Brasado. The tight end is Joseph Landre, number 86. So that's a huge one right there, Fred, as they had 2nd and 18. Well, that's going to push them back 10. So now you're looking at, well, it could be close to 2nd and 25, 2nd and 28.
Might as well be 2nd and forever, Sean, as they, with the field they've got to work in front of them. Now we'll see Freihoff's passing arm probably come out in 2nd and long. Interesting to see. Will he call a little over the middle screen to somebody like Neely? As we've seen last week, you get a lot of yardage on that screen over the middle, beating that bull rush. So there's plenty of options in a wing T in this type of situation.
It'll be 2nd down and 25 for Pioneer, going right to left. They have the ball on their own 33-yard line. 1st down marker is at the Grizzly 42. That's Barnes in motion left to right. The pass is completed to Russell Neely. Neely tries to juke, but he gets tackled right away. Coming up right there and making the stop was Noah Evaristo, one of the defensive backs. He also plays a little wide receiver for the Grizzlies, brings up a 3rd down.
Yeah, that time the play was a little bit too slow in developing. They got the pass out quick enough to Neely, but the defenders were right on it.
2 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the 1st quarter. Pioneer 7, Gunderson 0. 3-yard loss, or I beg your pardon, 1-yard loss in the previous play, brings up 3rd and 26. Possible passing play here. Indeed it is. Freihoff looking deep, throws a quacker towards the far side, and that one's intercepted. It's picked off around the 45-yard line. Noah Evaristo, the man who came up and made the tackle a couple plays ago, jumped up, and Fred did the perfect thing at the defensive back position, caught the ball at its highest point, out-jumped his wide receiving opponent there. But you go back to the throw, I called it a quacker. That ball left the hands of Drew Freihoff. It didn't appear to be tipped. It just came out very awkwardly.
Yeah, that time Freihoff, he threw it off his back foot. He was well out of position, Sean, and that's when a ball goes high. When a quarterback tries to throw off his back foot and leans back, he's off balance, has no momentum. The defender gets there first on a short throw that's high.
Grizzlies now with the ball, going left to right. On your screen, they have it on their own 49. Dejan Packer takes it out to the 45-yard line. The Pioneer 45 gets close to 6 yards on the ground, but another flag is thrown. Coming up with the tackle was one of the middle linebackers, or the outside backers, I should say, Ethan Stanton, and we're going to have a face mask call. So this is an offensive face mask against the Grizzlies.
So every time it looks like the Grizzlies have a little momentum, Sean, they get a penalty. If it's not been holding this time, it's a face mask, and Coach Vapin can't be very happy with these types of mistakes, because he knows he needs to turn the short gains and the long gains, and really can't afford to lose much and have a long field for 1st down with his running game.
Brings up 1st down and 17.
So it'll be 1st down and about 17 for Gunderson. Ball marked down on the Grizzly 42-yard line in between the hashes. Grizzlies with the football, going left to right in the white uniforms. On your screen, 1 minute, 48 seconds left here in the 1st quarter. Gunderson trails Pioneers 7-0. 2 backs behind Packer. Hands it off to Milcor. Milcor passes the 45, and he gets tripped up right away.
By number 34, Anthony Logan.
And that was Logan, Anthony Logan coming in on the tackle.
Yeah, that was a nice run by
Gain of
Melkor.
4
He
on the play.
looks
Brings
like
up
he
second
ran
down and
right behind
13.
his wing back. Had a nice block, gained some nice yardage, but when it's 1st and 17, 2nd and 13's better, but it's still a long way for the first down when you've got a running offense. Interesting to see what they do now. 2nd and long. Will he try to put it up this time?
Tayshawn Clark, the fullback, Melkor, the tailback. 2nd down. Packer flicks it at the last second in the option. Melkor under pressure, reverses course, needs a blocker, gets one, now's back to the 35, and he's tattooed at the 40. And that was Gabriel. Gabriel with the big lick right there as Melkor tried to reverse course. Tried going to the far side of the field, had absolutely nothing. Tried to come back to the right, and he paid for it as he's tackled for a loss.
Yeah, I think Packer was just lucky to get that ball off, Sean, without a fumble that time. And as Melkor tried to reverse direction, the pursuit was on, and Gabriel just upended him at the 40. Now it looks like 3rd and 20 for the Grizzlies.
It's going to be 3rd down and long for the Grizzlies, and they just decide to give it to Clark as he bowls ahead for a couple on the ground. I don't think Gunderson wanted to test the air right there with their aerial attack. And the seconds were winding down, and that'll do it for the first quarter. Pioneer 7, Gunderson nothing. It'll be 4th down as we get ready to start the second quarter. Fred Landis joined alongside me. I'm Sean Hennessy. We appreciate those of you that are watching in at home, bearing with us. We have some minor audio technical difficulties that we're working with here at Pioneer High School. Different format for the broadcast setup. We're actually out in the fan section here at Pioneer High School. Amongst the crowd appears to be, I'd say it's almost several thousand on hand as the Pioneer side is completely full, folks. There isn't one empty seat in the house, and you look across the field at the Gunderson side, it's pretty full. This is a big game, some bragging rights on the line, not to mention a Bell Trophy on the line as well.
Yeah, there sure is. We heard the bell ringing before the game, Sean, and I think thus far we can see just how quickly this first quarter went with both teams running the ball, chewed the clock rather quickly. A few penalties have really stalled both teams, and so far the story of the game, turnovers by the Grizzlies, gave the Mustangs a short field and the touchdown early.
It'll be 4th down now as we get ready to start the second quarter. Gunderson will switch sides. They're now punting the ball going right to left. A very low punt taken by the up man, but it's actually bobbled. Flag comes in, or perhaps that was an official marker. So I beg your pardon, no flag on the play. That was a marker thrown by one of the officials, which will indicate where the ball is. But that one was bobbled by a brief moment by Dominic Barnes. Barnes had that one hit him, and I think Fred right there, perhaps he looked up as the ball was coming into his chest, and then it just bounced away. But luckily for him, he was able to fall on it.
Yeah, a lot of times the receiver at that point, the returner, is when he's looking to field it, he's looking for footsteps bearing down on him, and he just took a quick glance up, and by doing so, lost control of the ball. And fortunately, he was able to jump right back on top of it to keep the in possession for the Mustangs.
1st and 10 for Pioneer, going left to right on their own 33-yard line. This is a handoff straight ahead, and this is Stanton, Ethan Stanton, who bowls ahead. And he gets some nice yardage on the ground. Stanton, a big boy who will get the call early on. It'll bring up 2nd down and about 3.
Yeah, Stanton actually looks like he lost the ball there. It's a nice gain, lost it. The Grizzlies were talking fumble, but it was after the play was dead.
7-yard
Stanton,
gain on the play.
a big player, goes 215 plus pounds, is being recruited by some colleges, Sean.
2nd down and 2. Stanton once again slips one tackler, stiff arms, passes the 50, goes out of bounds inside the 45. Ethan Stanton, the big man with some agility right there, but there's a flag thrown back at the Mustang 41. And more than likely, this will go against the Mustangs, and indeed it will. It's a holding call.
Yeah, that was a shame. Stanton bounced to the outside, looked like a tailback for such a big player, but showing his agility, we're seeing why he's being recruited at the next level. Had a nice gain on that, but it'll be coming back here on the hold against the Mustangs. And they're saying illegal use of hands.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
10 yards from the spot of the foul. Well, that'll leave him with 2nd and 12, Sean.
Correction right there on the penalty. Indeed, illegal use of the hands. More than likely one of the offensive linemen got their hands up towards one of the players' throats or perhaps under the face mask, and that'll get called 9 times out of 10. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 12, 10-yard penalty. Mustangs moving left to right. Freihoff sends a man in motion, play action, looks left, slings it, completes the pass. This is Logan. Logan past the 35-yard line, and Gunderson trips him up. You see the crowd go crazy. That ball popped loose. And it looks like the Grizzlies will recover it. So Logan coughs it up, and now the Grizzly offense will head out onto the field.
So there's a break for the Grizzlies. This time they get that turnover back. That was a nice bubble screen pass. The center, the lineman actually went out, made a nice seal block, sprung Logan upfield on that play. Unfortunately, he fumbled the ball prior to going down.
10 minutes and 53 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Pioneers 7, Gunderson nothing. 1st and 10 for the Grizzlies offense. Moving right to left. They have it on the Mustang 39, right hash mark. Oh, and the tailback jumped early. You could see that from a mile away. As quarterback Dejon Packer was wondering what was going on as the whistles were blown. He couldn't see it because his tailback was about 8 yards behind him. And that was Melkor, who appeared to jump early.
Oh, I believe it was Tashawn Clark, rather. Yeah, he was coming in after that turnover. He was looking for a nice quick opener up the middle, jumped a little bit too soon, and with each of these teams having a game under the belt, Sean, it's looking like it's the first game for each of them with all these penalties we're seeing.
Yeah, we're seeing quite a few penalties here so far in this first half. A penalty-ridden first half. 1st and 15. Ball on the 49. Right hash mark for Gunderson. Packer will pass it. Looking towards the far sideline into double coverage. And that one was incomplete. It was actually swatted away at the very last second by Reese Williams, who is one of the safeties, number 7 back deep for Pioneer. But that one was well overthrown. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 15.
So, yeah, that time they're going to throw just often enough, Sean, to try to keep that defense honest. That time the pass was overthrown. Packer is not going to be in to throw the ball very often. He's just a sophomore. It'll be interesting to see if Coach Papin is really going to give him an option from time to time to run that ball if he sees an opening when the defense is playing pass.
2nd down and 15. Packer sends his man in motion left to right. This is a handoff, which will be Clark, Tashawn Clark. Clark getting quite a few carries here early on, Fred, and I say that with a little bit of emphasis because normally you expect to see Nick Melkor or even the fullback Felipe Negron, who has really gotten the bulk of the carries, especially last week against Lynbrook. But now we're seeing Tashawn Clark, who is getting an abundance of carries so far in this first half.
Yeah, I would expect to have see Melkor get a bulk of the carries. That play right there looks like the one they tried to call on 1st down that he had the penalty on. So maybe Clark went back into the huddle and said, give it to me this time, and I'll get you some yardage, and he did.
3rd down and 10, ball on the Pioneer 39-yard line for the Grizzlies. Fake handoff, play action. Packer throws it, has a man open, but it's incomplete. It was well short of the intended target, Naharo. He had to stop his route as he was running a drag, it appeared, or a deep post from right to left. The ball is underthrown, and it will bring up 4th down.
Yeah, Packer was actually very fortunate that the defender, Dominique Barnes, fell down when he was actually trying to back up for the ball. An underthrown pass, that could have easily been intercepted had Barnes not stumbled.
4th down and 10. 2 punt returners back deep for Pioneer. Ball is marked down on the Mustang 39-yard line. It'll be 4th down and 10. 9 minutes, 57 seconds remaining in the second quarter. A low punt that goes off the boot of Merritt as it rolls close to out of bounds across the far side, and Pioneer will have great field position.
Ulysses Merritt's punt is down at the 14-yard line.
And at first, it actually looked like there was a flag on the play, but there is no flag. I said great field position, but in all honesty, that ball is going to be marked down inside the 15-yard line. So that was actually a pretty good punt right there by Merritt. A little bit scary because it went off the side of the foot, and it looked like they were only going to get maybe 10 to 15 yards out of that boot.
Yes, he got himself a good bounce there tonight that really helped his punting average, Sean, and kind of put the Mustangs here in a bit of a hole, which is where they need them to be to keep this high-powered offense from scoring.
Mustangs with the ball going left to right. They have the ball on their own 14-yard line. Man in motion moving left to right. It'll be a handoff. Ball carrier tripped up for a minimal gain. And that was Appleton, or I beg your pardon, Neely with the carry. And there is an injured Grizzly down on the field around the 10-yard line. Hard to see who it was down on the field, but hopefully we'll get that number to you in just a moment as both teams take a knee for the injured player. 9 minutes, 44 seconds. 7-0 is our score. Pioneer on top of Gunderson. A lot of penalties so far, Fred. We've seen surprisingly a lot of punts so far in this first half. I think both offenses just trying to get the field, trying to get some punches thrown at each of these defenses so far.
Yeah, I think typical early season games, defenses are ahead of the offenses. And in this case, the penalties are still plaguing both teams, looking like it's the first game of the season. And the Grizzlies now with a down man on the field. Coach Papen mentioned a number of injuries they had coming into this game, and they can ill afford to lose too many players. They'll have some depth problems rather quickly. If they do, let's hope this player's just shake it up, had the wind knocked out of him, that he can get back into this ball game.
The clock is stopped with 9 minutes and 44 seconds left here in the second quarter. Fred Landis alongside me. I'm Sean Hennessy, broadcasting to you live from Pioneer High School in San Jose, California. It's the battle for the bell as Gunderson travels to Pioneer High School. Last year, Pioneer defeated Gunderson, and they currently hold on to the trophy. As we await word of the injured Grizzly who is down on the 10-yard line. And we mentioned it earlier on in the broadcast. We're actually situated in the stands here at Pioneer High School. They have a rather small press box, so PlayOn Sports is situated to the immediate left of the press box. And so we are right in the middle of the crowd, the student section here at Pioneer High School. We have fans, parents, grandparents, children to our right, left, straight ahead. It is a packed house here at Pioneer, and truthfully speaking, Fred, if you really wanted to get up and per se go grab a cup of coffee or a water, it'd be pretty difficult at this point.
Yes, I feel like I'd be at a concert, John. They'd probably have to pass me up and down the stands in order to get anywhere. And in the meantime, there's a number of T-shirts being shot up this way. We may get one right between us here in the middle of the broadcast if we're lucky.
Yeah, they have the T-shirt machine being used here on the track as they're shooting T-shirts into the fans. And the injured Grizzly is back up onto his feet, which is always a good sign. And it appears that was Diego Alvarez, the fullback and linebacker of the Grizzlies, who was shaken up around the 10-yard line. Glad to see that he's walking back to the far sideline under his own power.
And that was good to see, Sean. As I mentioned, the Grizzlies could ill afford injuries here tonight to keep up with this offense of Pioneer. And at this point, with 2nd and 5 here for the Mustangs, deep in their own territory, why, if they can keep them pinned and get the ball back, they might be able to get themselves a score. Keep this ball game close to the end of the game. That is their chance of pulling this upset off here tonight.
2nd down and 5 following the injury timeout for Pioneer. Man in motion from far side to near side. Freihoff directly under center. This is Stanton. And he's met right away. How about that Grizzly defense? And typically they show what's called a 4-2-5 look, and I know I'm putting a little bit of extra emphasis on the coding of the defense. And for those of you that are college football fans, similar to what TCU, the Horned Frogs, run out there in Texas, and that's what Coach Papin told us, a 4-2-5 look, and right there they managed to blitz a couple backers, and it worked perfectly.
Yeah, they shot the gap there. That is why the defender that was defensive in the backfield was able to come up and make the stop.
3rd and 2. This carry goes towards the far sideline, and it appears that's going to be enough for a first down as Devin Appleton takes the carry. He actually saw nothing towards the right side of the offensive line and decided to bump it out a bit further. Moves the chains for the Mustangs.
Yeah, that time you saw the maturity of a senior, Sean. At 5'9", 185, he's not a big man, but he sure is shifty, and he just followed his blockers around the edge where they got a seal on the contain man to get the first down.
1st and 10 for the Mustangs. They have the ball on their own 26. Right hash mark, moving left to right. Ball carrier goes left side. Jeremy Aguinez takes the carry out to about the 36-yard line. So right now we're seeing the Mustangs move the ball very nicely on the ground. And when we had a chance to talk with Jeremy Bean, who is the wide receivers coach for the Mustangs, he mentioned it might be more 80-20 in terms of a run-to-pass ratio, but they aren't going to be afraid to throw it. And we've seen Freihoff do it early on.
Yes, we have, and the run can set up the pass if you're successful. As that time, looks like Appleton took the carry, but there's a flag, and it could be a hold, Sean.
And that one was thrown in the backfield by our head referee, and indeed it is a holding call. A couple of those calls so far tonight, Fred, for the Mustangs offense is really hurting them. You take a look at their roster, you take a look at the size that they have, the league that they're in, and anybody will tell you, and we even heard people walking up and down the sidelines before the game saying, oh, Pioneer should blow Gunderson out. It should be a mismatch. But you look at the way this game's being played so far, Pioneer's really shooting themselves in the foot early on. They've only got a 1-score lead over the Grizzlies.
Yes, they've expected to do a lot better, and if they can keep the penalty flags from flying, you could see some offensive momentum, but the Grizzlies have to be happy to keep the score low at this point.
Only 1 score for Pioneer, and that came by Dominique Barnes, who rushed the ball into the end zone. Here's a deep pass down the far sideline. That one is incomplete. Jeremy Aguinez, the intended target across the far side, and it appeared that perhaps that ball was tipped at the very last second because Aguinez was open. And then now when you get a chance to reevaluate that play, Fred, it almost looked like maybe he even dropped it.
It's possible. I think he did drop it. The defender had his back to the quarterback, so he clearly was not going for the ball. And the ball was a bit underthrown. Had Aguinez caught that in stride with a pass on target, it could have been 6 points by now.
3rd down and 10 for the Mustangs. Aguinez is the motion man. Freihoff with time, looking for his man. Incomplete pass. Incomplete pass. It'll bring up a 4th down for Pioneer. Nothing working right now for the passing game for the Mustangs as the punt team will come onto the field.
Yeah, it looked like the second drop pass. This time Appleton, who was open at the sideline and would have had the first down had he caught the pass, Sean.
Brings up 4th down and 11.
So that'll bring up 4th down. Bloomquist on to punt the ball away. He stands around his own 10-yard line. Packer will be the return man for the Grizzlies. He stands close to his own 40. 7 minutes and 39 seconds remaining here in the first half. Pioneer with a very slim 7-0 advantage over the Gunderson Grizzlies. Bloomquist with a nice spiral punt that turns end over end at the 42. Packer lets it bounce once, tries to juke his defender but can't, and he goes down. Jeremy Aguinez will get credit with the pressure.
Yeah, that time Packer tried to juke his way out, as you said, but that's a sophomore mistake. He's much better off getting that ball on the run and making a decision to go upfield and play vertical rather than sideline to sideline, and he'll learn his lesson. He's a good young ball player, but that time he stumbled backwards, lost a couple of yards to set them up here on first down. It looks like it's from about the 30-yard line.
1st and 10 for Gunderson. They're going to bring their offense out. Grizzlies going right to left. Packer under center. Man in motion for Gunderson. That's Merritt. He goes left to right. He's the tight end that now lines up on the right side. It'll be a handoff. And that's Milcor. Milcor tied up right away. The defensive line sniffs it out for a minimal gain. 2nd down upcoming.
Yeah, they have to be able to establish the ground game with Melkor to gain some traction. Run behind their big right tackle, number 56, Mel Sotelo, is going to be key here. That time they're getting a little predictable with, looks like the Mustangs now getting a beat on that run game and stopping them for no gain.
Grizzlies offensive line going left to right consists of Pollard, White, Wright, Hunt, and Mel Sotelo, the right guard. Packer under pressure, flag thrown, has a man intercepted. That ball is picked off, flag is thrown. That was Dominic Barnes, the man with the only rushing touchdown, the only touchdown of the ball game. Playing a defensive back position, comes up, gets the interception, but there is a flag thrown.
Yeah, we saw that's actually Ortega in the game on the rollout. It was a nice rollout, but he clearly underthrew it, and it was kind of a fluttering pass. Looks like a hold against the Grizzlies, and of course Mustangs will decline it and take first down.
Pioneer will indeed decline the penalty. So give credit to Dominic Barnes. He has a rushing touchdown and now he has an interception in this ball game. Pioneer with the football now, moving left to right in the blue uniforms with the white helmets, the Mustang logo. They have the ball on the Grizzly 40-yard line, right hash mark. Drew Freihoff, the quarterback under center. He'll do a play action, rolls out to the far side, under pressure, slings it, and that one's caught. So finally the Mustangs passing game is able to complete their first pass in quite some time, and that will go for a gain of 8.
Number 7, Reese Williams, is incomplete.
Yeah, it looks like an incomplete pass to Williams. It's a nice rollout. Freihoff showing some nice mobility for a big man, Sean, there, but unfortunately the pass was low. Williams couldn't come up with it. Interesting to see now if we don't see a few more passing plays out of the Mustangs to try to get on the board here once again before halftime.
So just when I was about ready to give the Mustang passing game some kudos, it's an incomplete pass. It was dropped across the far side of the field. Brings up 2nd down from the 40-yard line. Neely in motion. He gets the carry. Still on his feet, throwing people around as he goes out of bounds, and he gets enough for a Mustang first down. Russell Neely, an impressive back for the Mustangs. He's usually a motion man right there going left to right. He's able to move the chains.
Yeah, that was a nice gain by Neely. Followed his blocker. His tight end that time made a nice seal on the inside to spring the gain.
6 minutes and 23 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Pioneer 7, Gunderson 0. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs on the Grizzly 30-yard line. Right hash mark. Mustangs moving left to right. Neely once again in motion. He'll get the carry for the 2nd time. Brings it back to the middle. Still alive and finally gets drilled inside the 30-yard line for a gain of 4.
Nice gain over the right side. He tried to take it upfield, and if he again would sort of run vertical, Sean, he could have kept going on that one, but without the pass game working here for the Mustangs, they certainly are very capable of running the ball. Did it well against San Benito, and looks like they're going to be trying to do that here, chew some clock and get the score here with a run game.
2nd down and 8. Neely, 3rd straight carry, finds room across the near sideline, and he goes out of bounds. He goes out of bounds, it appears, inside the 10-yard line. Neely had some great blocking down the near sideline, and now it's going to be 1st and goal for Pioneer.
Yeah, that time looked like it was the center. That time, if I have it right, Brandon Keating really sprung him. He waited and he was patient. Neely waited for his blocker, Keating, to get out and seal the outside, and his speed did the rest to set them up at 1st and goal.
It'll be 1st and goal for Pioneer. Some great blocking along the near sideline right there for the Mustangs. It's going to give him 1st and goal at the 7. This will be a handoff to Neely. Another carry as he has some room. Bulls ahead, and that'll be a touchdown for Pioneer. Russell Neely scores from 7 yards out, and now the Mustangs take a 13-0 lead.
Yeah, that time he ran right around his big guard, Brandon Keating, that time once again. This time he just ran on the inside instead of the outside, but Keating again throwing a nice block to spring Neely for the touchdown, who has the speed to get there.
River Brill on to try the PAT. Clock stopped, I beg your pardon, at 5 minutes and 36 seconds left in the 2nd quarter. Pioneer trying to make it a 14-0 ball game. With all the penalties that they've had in this ball game, we might see another.
Yeah, that time it would appear as though too much time on the clock. Legal procedure is the call. Somebody jumped a little bit too quick along the line. The good news is 5 yards back on the PAT. Often isn't that material. We'll see if it makes a difference here.
Kick is up and away, and it's good. So Brill drills it, and the Mustangs of Pioneer take a 14-0 lead, 5 minutes and 36 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter. Fred Landis alongside me. I'm Sean Hennessy, bringing you the battle for the bell. It's the Gunderson Grizzlies taking on the Pioneer Mustangs here at Pioneer High School. Packed house here at Pioneer High School, both sides representing their squads very nice. And Fred, it's been a penalty-ridden first half so far, but you got to give credit to the Pioneer defense, who is really setting up the Pioneer offense with some great advantages so far, and it's been nothing but their rushing attack that we can talk about.
Yes, they sure have. They really kept the Grizzlies one-dimensional, running from that I formation. Grizzlies not real mature on their passing game. And looking at last week's stats, looks like Neely ran for 52 yards against San Benito, and he's having another good game here this evening. And they're going to rely on their ground attack to set up the pass, I think, Sean, to keep those Grizzlies off the field.
Dejon Packer and Tayshawn Clark back deep to return for the Grizzlies. Brill will kick it off. Clark will get a chance to return this one from his own 8-yard line. Goes up the middle, lowers his shoulder, and he's tackled around the 25.
Yeah, nice gain on the play. I think now we're going to have to see if the Grizzlies, with 5 minutes left, can sustain a drive without a penalty or turnover. They've had 2 here tonight, Sean, that have hurt them most certainly and stalled their momentum. And between the penalties and those 2 turnovers, it's kept them from a sustained drive. Let's see if they can't sustain one here and get a score here before the half.
5 minutes and 31 seconds remaining here in the first half. Pioneer 14, Gunderson 0. Grizzlies with the football going right to left. They have it on their own 25-yard line in between the hashes. Ball carrier up the middle for a gain of what appears to be about 5 yards.
That time, that was just a fullback dive. That time to Negron, and he almost squirted through, got a bit into the secondary before he was brought down. And we've seen that a few times here from Gunderson as they're going to try to stretch the defense from side to side, running up the field every now and again vertical while pitching right or left.
2nd down and 5 from the 30. Ball carrier rushes it straight up the middle, and that's Melkor. He actually goes in between the center and right guard. That's Marcus Wright and Stephen Hunt, who make up the center and the right guard for the Grizzlies. He gets it for a gain of about 2 yards. So now it's going to bring up 3rd down and 3 for Gunderson. They trail Pioneer 14-0. The clock continues to move. 4 minutes and 29 seconds left in the second quarter. Eric Najarro, the wide receiver, lines up towards the left side. 3 backs behind Packer. Clark in motion. It will be an option rollout. DeJean Packer takes it himself, and he picks up about 5 yards, and that'll be enough for a Grizzly first down.
And I think that's what we're going to see more here from the Grizzlies tonight. With Packer in there, he's a mobile quarterback. He's a threat to run the ball. And Coach Papin will use him in an option situation. That time they picked up the first down. In one of the few moments tonight, they had 3rd and short, Sean.
Pioneers defensive backs playing off about 10 yards across the far sideline. That's Kyle Cooper, the defensive back, towards the top of your screen. As mentioned, about 10 yards off. It won't matter, though, because Pioneer sniffs that out. That was the defensive line coming up and making the tackle right there.
Stopped by number 62.
And that was a huge hit. That was actually Kibbe. Kibbe coming in and making a nice tackle for Pioneer, stopping that for no gain.
Yeah, Kibbe's going 6'1", 215 at nose tackle. Shugged the block of the center rather easily for the tackle. They're not going to get away with that dive play very often. Coach Papin's going to have to be pretty patient running that sparingly in order to be successful that tonight.
Second down and 10 from the 39. Ball carrier goes far sideline, whipped around.
DeJean Packer on the keeper.
Packer actually decided to take that himself from the quarterback position. No gain on the carry, so back-to-back plays result for 0 yards gain for Gunderson. It brings up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, in that case, Packer really had no choice. He didn't really have a chance to pitch the ball off. He sort of ran with a full house backfield, 3 men in the backfield that time. Looked like had he been able to pitch it earlier, they could have gotten a gain there around the edge. But nonetheless, he was tackled. 3rd and long. This is where the Grizzlies wanted to stay out of this situation this evening. And with 2:30 left, let's see if they don't try to go upfield, Sean.
And it looks like the clock stops at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Gunderson will use their second timeout of the first half. They now have 1 timeout remaining. Pioneer with all 3 timeouts. They have not used a timeout so far in this first half. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Pioneer 14, Gunderson nothing as we get ready to approach halftime here at Pioneer High School. Fred Landis alongside me. I'm Sean Hennessy, bringing you the live play-by-play action. We'd like to thank all the fans for tuning in at home. We welcome you to the PlayOnSports.com network. For all of you watching around the Greater Bay Area, the state of California, and across the United States, welcome to Pioneer High School. A full house here at Pioneer High School. The battle for the bell. Pioneer currently holds the bell, as you can probably see it down on the field. It's around the 50-yard line. It's actually just in front of the cheerleading squad. It's a bell that's been around for about 30 years, made of bronze material. Every now and then you'll hear the sideline ringing it pretty loud, and it's something that both these schools take very, very seriously.
Yes, they sure do. For 29 years, they've been playing for this bell, Sean. And you know the Grizzlies want to get one back from last year's and avenge that defeat. We'll see here at 3rd and long whether they don't try to put it up and go upfield.
Packer barks out the calls. Now he drops back 5 steps. Pump fakes. Now he'll keep it himself. Jukes 1 defender. Jukes a second. Still has the ball. Pulling players down past the 50-yard line. The officials come together, and it appears that Packer will get the first down. Fred, how impressive is this sophomore right there? Slips 2 tackles and drags a couple defenders to get the first down.
Very impressive run by Packer for the young sophomore. What I said earlier in the evening, will the coach give him the option of running that ball in a passing situation? And he sure enough did at that point. The Mustangs certainly weren't looking for it, and he showed that he had the skill and the poise of a senior and a running back, much less a quarterback.
Mustang defense shows blitz, and they do. They bring two backers. Ball carrier takes it up and will get close to 6, maybe 7 yards on the ground. That was Negron, the fullback, getting the call right there, but the Mustangs linebackers blitzed, went right past the ball carrier.
Yeah, I think the Mustangs sort of thought they had the Grizzlies on their heels at 3rd and long. That play fooled them. They've got a little momentum. As I said earlier, they can get some momentum on the ground game at 2nd and 5 with just a minute and a half left in the game, or in the half. See if they can't get a score on the board and make it closer at halftime.
2nd down and 5 for Gunderson. They cross over into Pioneer territory on the Mustang 46. Ball carrier nearly breaks away. And that's a key rush right there by Noah Evaristo. Correction, Negron once again. We're seeing Negron's name getting called a little bit more in this 2nd quarter as he picks up a 1st down.
Grizzlies showing some versatility, not just with Melchor, but Negron and Packer are certainly run threats for the Grizzlies. And the Mustangs have to spy each one of them all night, Sean.
From the 37 for Gunderson, 1st and 10. Another fullback blast straight up the gut, close to 5 yards. Something's working right now for Gunderson, but they need to get things moving as the clock continues to roll. 1 minute and 10 seconds, 1 minute 9 seconds. The clock still rolls. Gunderson has 1 timeout remaining in the 1st half. They trail Pioneer 14-0. 2nd down and 6 from the 37. Packer keeps it himself on the option. He had a pitch man, which was Melchor, and gets taken down by at least 3 blue jerseys.
Yeah, the Mustangs are content, looks like, Sean, to let the Grizzlies run the ball with such little time left on the clock and keep them out of the end zone in doing so. That time he did have a nice pitch available to him, took it upfield instead, but only got 2, but it is 3rd and short.
Coach Papin holding on to that last timeout. Fullback handoff once again. And coming up and delivering the hit right there was Reese Williams delivering the powerful blow. And it appears that he stopped the ball carrier just shy of the 1st down marker. The clock is stopped with 22 seconds remaining as the chains reset. So no timeout call by Gunderson at the moment. The chains will reset. Ball carrier did get enough for the 1st down. So now it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Grizzlies on the 27-yard line. The ball will be placed in between the hashes. A must-score drive, if you will, for Gunderson as they trail Pioneer 14-0. They want to get 1 touchdown on the board before we strike halftime. Dejan barks out the calls. He pump fakes. Now he throws it deep for the end zone. Has a man. Oh! Nearly intercepted, and here comes a late flag. A late flag. You see Noah Evaristo on your screen, the wide receiver begging for a call, and that was actually Reese Williams who nearly had the interception.
Yeah, the back judge made the call. It looked like it was a little late, and I think Williams looking for the flag. It was an underthrown pass by Packer, and this appears like it's going to be offensive pass interference, Sean.
And Fred, it looks like you hit the nail on the head as the clock is stopped at 15 seconds. We'll wait to see what the official call is, but the way Gunderson was marching their offense back, it looked like it might be offensive pass interference, and you are right. It is offensive pass interference against Gunderson, and that's committed by Noah Evaristo down the far sideline. You saw him waving his hand up, calling for the flag, but instead the officials come together and say, no, the call actually goes against Gunderson, and that's a big one because they had the ball on the 27-yard line. Now they're going to bring that one back all the way to the 41.
Yeah, they were certainly in scoring position one way or another, and it was an ideal time at 1st and 10 with 21 seconds left to go up top, but he underthrew the ball, and that caused the whole issue.
Gunderson wasn't even set to the line as Packer was barking out the calls. He didn't even get his hand underneath the center as the center snapped the football. And that's going to be a drive for Gunderson that they're going to wish they could have back because it appears that the clock is stopped now at 9 seconds.
So Packer is a fine football player, fine athlete. He isn't quite the passer that Ortega is. And when Coach Bapin has him in the backfield at quarterback, well, he's more likely to run the option or a pitch and give Packer some room and open space. What is not his strength is throwing that football where it is with Ortega. That time, that underthrown pass calls the pass interference. And then, of course, the timing play here is causing the fumble, which is rather academic for the Mustangs. They just assume run the clock out here with 9 seconds left. But you're right, a crucial moment for the Grizzlies. They had a chance to score one before halftime.
And what happened right there was the botch snap, and I can't even really call it a snap because Packer didn't even have his hands underneath the center. And the center, Marcus Wright, snapped the football. The Mustangs recovered. One of the defensive linemen of Pioneer recovered the football. And you see quarterback Drew Freihoff out on the field, and now we're going to get a chance to see the Mustangs offense with possibly one last Hail Mary play with 9 seconds left. Mustangs going left to right. They have the ball on their own 42-yard line. Wide receiver across the far side does a quick curl. One man on the near side does a deep route, and that ball's nearly intercepted as Freihoff just throws it up. Stops the clock with 4 seconds.
Yeah, he threw in the double coverage. The Gunderson Grizzlies knew they could go up top for a long one. The safety was playing deep with a defensive back, and Freihoff's overthrown pass was almost intercepted, but would have been rather academic with just a few seconds on the clock.
14-0 is our score in favor of the Pioneer Mustangs, holders of the Bell Trophy, and they want to hold it for another year. 4 seconds left till we reach halftime. Possibly the last play of the first half. 2nd down and 10 from the 42 for Pioneer. Freihoff sets up across the far side, under pressure, eludes one man, tucks the ball, keeps it himself, and if he's smart, he'll just get out of bounds because that clock is strike 0. 2 Grizzlies in on the tackle as Freihoff gets up a little gingerly, and that'll do it for the first half. 14-0 is our score in favor of the Pioneer Mustangs. One rushing score came by the legs of Dominique Barnes, and then Russell Neely punched in the other. So Pioneer 14, Gunderson 0 here at the half. Folks, stick around. We're going to take a short break. When Fred and I come back, we'll have some first half analysis for you right here on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
3:16 left to go in this ball game. I formation, 3rd and 3 from the 45 of the Wolverines. And this time, holy cow! Dion almost hands it to the Westview player. He's going to run this to the 5-10. Touchdown, Wolverines! How did that happen? That was
Snyder.
Holy cow! He was in the backfield before the running back could even get the handoff. He took the handoff from Dion.
He took the ball right out of Dion's hands and just...
Holy cow!
Can't say I've seen that one very often.
Snyder comes shooting in from the A-gap. I think Dion froze when he saw him. He's ready to hand off to his running back. He froze when he saw him and just let him have the ball. 12 seconds to go.
Oh, you could hear a pin drop.
5, 4, 3, 2. Get the snap off. Last play of the game. Brewster rolls right. Gets away from 2 sacks. Dons win. Sack at the 20-yard line. What a game.
And number 40, Lucas Zinder with the game-saving sack. And there is heartbreak on one sideline and a jubilation on another.
Offset eye for the Grizzlies as Keeney takes it under center. They'll send a man in motion, pitch back to Bird on the sweep. Bird finds a seam. He might go, folks. 20, 15, 10. Drags a tackler. Touchdown! Bird goes 38 yards for the touchdown on the sweep. One more snap is all it's going to take, and there you have it, folks. Your 2011 Division I Sac Joaquin section champions, the Granite Bay Grizzlies, as they defeat Pleasant Grove 30-24.
Jacqueline Williamson. Her serve is over. Dug by Holt. Giblin going back to Holt near side. Cut shot, kept alive, back and one by Cathedral. And this one is out as Castanon Hill sends it wide. And the Cathedral Dons have won the title 16-14 in Game 5.
Thomas with the ball, swings it out to Norris. Cameron Taylor tried to block that one away. Norris with a strong take, blocked by B.J. Anya. Huge block. Robinson leading the break the other way, gets it to Grant. Slam dunk Jeremy Grant off the feed from James Robinson. What a play by the Stag.
Runner at third is Chavez. 8-2 the score. Bottom of the seventh. The 1-2. Popped in the air. This should do it. Cortopassi says it's mine. Now he's fading on it. And he can't make the catch, but Gaff comes in from center field and does. Congratulations to the St. Mary's Rams, a three-peat. They win it 8-2 against Franklin to take the series 2-0.
But this is time to run an offensive set that you've done all through the season in practice.
Yeah. And you also, you get it to your hottest player right now, just like they're getting into Eichhorst right here. He's going to try to create some space, find somebody on the backside that's open.
Eichhorst flush out to the right. Oh, breaks free of a player. Eichhorst on his own, shoots and scores, bounces a shot home. Coos can't handle the shot. Eichhorst takes off the shirt and the helmet. And how about that? Alex called it. Eichhorst, after sustaining the injury in the third quarter of play, has scored the game winner with 22 seconds gone in the overtime period. Dogpile on the field. Marin Academy take it. A fantastic finish to this game. And, well, I hope his other ankle isn't hurting after this.
Hancock to his immediate left. Two receivers far side, one near side. Hancock on a counter, right side. He's inside the 10. He bounces off a tackler at the 10. The 5. Touchdown, Helix. And behind Hancock, the field is littered with white jerseys on the turf.
Wow. Hancock not to be outdone by his fellow playmakers on offense. Put on a show on that short 12-yard touchdown run. Looked like he was down after 3 yards, just threw a defender on the ground.
As sophomore Chris Carter sits under center. In their tight wing formation, Lycos in motion. Second back through is Freeman. Freeman just knocking people over. Look at him run, breaks through, 4 tackles, and now it's just a foot race to the end zone. And Freeman's going to go the distance. Touchdown, Imperial, on the first play of the second half. 2nd and 6 for Imperial from their own 47. They're going to give it to Freeman again off the left side. And Freeman gets by one wave and down across the 40-yard line. Still on his feet. Look at him run down to the 20-yard line. One man to beat. Gets by him. Touchdown, Freeman. How did he do that? Holy cow. 64-yard touchdown run. His 5th of the game. Royce Freeman, ladies and gentlemen, you're about to see the top rushing, and as I look over to our partners at KXO Radio, the top rusher in the San Diego section for the next 2 years.
That's just amazing. That is just amazing. They hit him in the backfield. They hit him at the line of scrimmage. They hit him a couple of yards downfield. They hit him again near the goal line.
Keep those Lowell fans quiet over there.
Lum sets it up for Pang. Long, it's out. Low, a magnificent 7 titles in the San Francisco section in dramatic style as they pull out a fantastic victory over a spirited Galileo Lions team. They win the 4th game, 31-29, and they take the 2012 Academic Athletic Association San Francisco section title.
Officials say no 5-second count can be started. Nobody was close enough defensively. Lyle's going to swing left side, Robinson. Here is a backdoor lob Timeout for Grant. They've been wanting that all game. And they got it, 50-42. They lulled you to sleep, and then they hit Grant on the back door.
They trail by 2. McMorrow's kick is on the way, and it is good. St. Augustine has their first lead of the game, 21-20, with 25 seconds to play. The senior McMorrow with a huge kick, not the longest of his career, but the biggest of his career. St. Augustine leads it 21 to
already lining up. They won't even have to run that one more play. They just acquiesce.
Why bother?
So there you have it. Your 5-time defending Division III champions, the Cathedral Catholic Dons, running up over and through Olympian 41-0 here from Qualcomm Stadium.
Patriots down 21-17. Great ball game here. Dillon taking it, looking right, throwing it up top to Gaines. It will be caught by Gaines. Oh my goodness. It looked like the defender had it, but Gaines stole it away from him. Jason Gaines, are you kidding me, my friend? Oh boy. It looked like for sure we had an interception by the Tories, but as they both were going to the ground, Jason Gaines just wrestled it away from him. Shane Dillon to Jason Gaines on an 11-yard play.
Fanchen in the game, now out, replaced by Hayashi, the libero for defense. Wenzel's serve, championship point, ball up in the air. Hayashi's going to bring it back. Richards, deep one, over and 3. Free opportunity, look for Wallace, no, they go Becker. Hayashi, then tap over and 2 by Hollingsworth. Now look for Wallace for the match!
Kathleen Wallace, no better way for the Bulls to finish it than giving it to their senior leader.
25-12, 25-15, and with 8 straight points to close out their 3rd straight D5 championship on a kill by Kathleen Wallace, 25-21 in game 3. Branson has won the D5 title.
In the backfield, it's Hernandez and Northcutt. Set to throw is Thomas, has time, goes for the home run. It's intercepted in the end zone. Seemed like they tried to go to Martin, and Martin slipped. Stockton, Hilmar, and Escalon. That's going to do it, folks. Victory formation, take a kneel. The clock comes out. The clock will tick down. The players jumping up at midfield. I think I see a Gatorade. Did we have a Gatorade shower?
We most certainly did. Casey Taylor getting the shower there. Very much deserved.
Down to 12.
Great tackle there by Ronald Williams there to make the stop for Helix.
And the Helix fans are starting to celebrate here. This is going to be the final play. 5 seconds. Pow will hand it off. And they're going to get in the end zone. Touchdown. That's Keegan who gets in, but that's going to be the end of the ball game. 44-6 will be the score. So Oceanside scores on the final play of the ball game.
And gets a consolation prize just to make this is kind of say that, hey, we didn't get shut out.
So 44-6 is your score. And Helix is celebrating on the sideline. Oceanside streak of 7 straight championship games has been ended.
2 minutes and 5 seconds left on the clock. Clock rolling, 3rd down and 15 for the Patriots. Dillon, he's got time, steps up. He's going to chuck it deep. He's got a man open. Seth.
Sunday night at 11 or 9 p.m.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Pioneer High School. Fred Landis joined alongside me. I'm Sean Hennessy. It's the PlayOnSports.com halftime show. And right now, it is the Pioneer Mustangs 14 and the Gunderson Grizzlies nothing. Really 2 scores to talk about, Fred, in that first half. The first one came by the legs of Dominic Barnes. That gave the Mustangs an early 7-0 lead. And then Russell Neely later on in the second quarter punched in the second rushing score, and that's where we stand, 14-0. A lot of penalties in that first half. Overall, your thoughts on the way that first half kind of played out?
Yeah, kind of a sloppy first half in many ways for both teams, particularly, though, for the Grizzlies, who had 2 rather costly turnovers, hurt their momentum on offense, and that gave the Mustangs some good ground game by Neely and Barnes to score some touchdowns over the right side. They're getting some nice blocking over the right side of that line of the Mustangs. And with their Mustangs passing game not working so well tonight, they're able to get a lot of offense or just enough going to shut out the Grizzlies here at halftime.
Drew Freihoff had a much better passing performance, and I guess you could say an all-around better game against San Benito last week out of Hollister. Tonight, not so much. A little bit stagnant. We're seeing some drop passes. We're seeing some confused plays, especially on the rollouts. The kid's agile, Fred. We can see for a big guy, he can move around pretty well. But what do you think is the primary issue so far tonight in the Mustang passing game?
Well, I think it's primarily a lot of timing. His receivers certainly had not helped him. There were 2 drop passes, the one deep throw, I believe, to their wide receiver. I believe it was Cooper in that case who dropped his pass. That was costly. Otherwise, there was some fluttering passes out of Freihoff. That was the timing, the coordination piece. Not really sure that they can get that together. They can continue to do that and have some success. Probably starting to throw a little bit shorter underneath, getting some passing rhythm will be more key here in this second half rather than going deep. And that'll set up some of those longer plays along with the ground game that they've been successful with.
That's going to do it for the PlayOnSports.com halftime show. When we come back, we'll kickstart the second half of football here at Pioneer High School. Right now, it's the Mustangs 14 and the Grizzlies nothing. When we come back, it'll be second half action on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Stay tuned.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot at
.3:16 left to go in this ball game. I formation, 3rd and 3 from the 45 of the Wolverines. And this time, holy cow! Dion almost hands it to the Westview player. He's going to run this to the 5-10. Touchdown, Wolverines! How did that happen? That was
Snyder.
Holy cow! He was in the backfield before the running back could even get the handoff. He took the handoff from Dion.
He took the ball right out of Dion's hands and just...
Holy cow!
Can't say I've seen that one very often.
Snyder comes shooting in from the A-gap. I think Dion froze when he saw him. He's ready to hand off to his running back. He froze when he saw him and just let him have the ball. 12 seconds to go.
Oh, you could hear a pin drop.
5, 4, 3, 2. Get the snap off. Last play of the game. Brewster rolls right. Gets away from 2 sacks. Dons wins. Sack at the 20-yard line. What a game.
And number 40, Lucas Zinder with the game-saving sack. And there is heartbreak on one sideline and a jubilation on another.
Offset eye for the Grizzlies as Keeney takes it under center. They'll send a man in motion, pitch back to Bird on the sweep. Bird finds a seam. He might go, folks. 20, 15, 10. Drags a tackler. Touchdown! Bird goes 38 yards for the touchdown on the sweep. One more snap is all it's going to take. And there you have it, folks. Your 2011 Division I Sac Joaquin section champions, the Granite Bay Grizzlies, as they defeat Pleasant Grove 30-24.
Jacqueline Williamson. Her serve is over. Dug by Holt. Giblin going back to Holt near side. Cut shot. Kept alive. Back in one by Cathedral. And this one is out as Castanon Hill sends it wide. And the Cathedral Dons have won the title 16-14 in Game 5.
Thomas with the ball, swings it out to Norris. Cameron Taylor tried to block that one away. Norris with a strong take, blocked by B.J. Anya. Huge block. Robinson leading the break the other way, gets it to Grant. Slam dunk Jeremy Grant off the feed from James Robinson. What a play by the Stag.
Runner at third is Chavez. 8-2 the score. Bottom of the 7th. The 1-2. Popped in the air. This should do it. Cortopassi says it's mine. Now he's fading on it. And he can't make the catch. But Gaff comes in from center field and does. Congratulations to the St. Mary's Rams, a three-peat. They win it 8-2 against Franklin to take the series 2-0.
But this is time to run an offensive set that you've done all through the season in practice.
Yeah, and you also, you get it to your hottest player right now. Just like they're getting into Eichhorst right here. He's going to try to create some space, find somebody on the backside that's open.
Eichhorst flush out to the right. Oh, breaks free of a player. Eichhorst on his own. Shoots and scores. Bounces a shot home. Coos can't handle the shot. Eichhorst takes off the shirt and the helmet. And how about that? Alex called it. Eichhorst, after sustaining the injury in the third quarter of play, has scored the game winner with 22 seconds gone in the overtime period. Dogpile on the field. Marin Academy take it. A fantastic finish to this game, and well, I hope his other ankle isn't hurting after this.
Hancock to his immediate left. Two receivers far side, one near side. Hancock on a counter, right side. He's inside the 10. He bounces off a tackler at the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Helix. And behind Hancock, the field is littered with white jerseys on the turf.
Wow. Hancock not to be outdone by his fellow playmakers on offense.
For the Grizzlies.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to PlayOnSports.com as we get ready to start the second half of football. Here at Pioneer High School, we're underway as the Grizzlies kick it off from right to left. The up man for the Mustangs will get it going early on as he bobbles the ball. That's Dominic Barnes. Talking about Dominic Barnes as Pioneer gets ready to bring their offense out onto the field. He had the first touchdown of the ball game for Pioneer, and then following him was Russell Neely. Only two scores to talk about tonight as the Mustangs, who will start off on offense, have an early 14-0 advantage as we get ready to start the third quarter.
Yes, the Grizzlies had 33 last week against Lynbrook, and they sure would love to get a little offensive momentum going here, but they got to keep the Mustangs off the field offensively to do that.
1st and 10 for Pioneer on their own 25-yard line. Going left to right, a big hole to work, and the tailback breaks it loose. That's Barnes. Barnes, 30. Barnes breaks a man at the 10-5 touchdown. Dominic Barnes had Neely next to him, providing a nice path down the near sideline, and he breaks it away. A huge gain of 75 yards on one play.
Yeah, that was sort of a quick opener. Just want to get upfield a little bit. He broke it through, came down the sideline, and got a nice block by Neely on the defensive back Packer and knocked him, pancaked him, and just ran right into the end zone, Sean.
River Brill drills the PAT try, and it takes Pioneer just one play to score in the second half. Pioneer 21, Gunderson 0. You're listening in to PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Fred Landis joined alongside me. I'm Sean Hennessy. 21-0 our score as Pioneer goes one play for 75 yards on the legs of Dominic Barnes. Going back and looking at that play, Fred, Russell Neely had some nice blocking downfield.
Yes, he sure did. He showed his versatility as a back. He's not just a runner, but to show that he can block an open field against an athlete like Packer really shows the value of these skilled players, all veterans coming back here for the Mustangs. And now we see why Coach Berry is so excited about these skilled players.
This is Clark taking the ball past the 30-yard line for Gunderson, finally dragged down
Is returned by number 20 to Sean Clark.
around the 32.
He's tackled by number 57, Patrick Richards.
And just one last point on that last offensive score for Pioneer. That play started out towards the middle portion of the offensive line. That's Daniel Brockbank, the center, who really pushed ahead that defensive front. So the offensive line right there for Pioneer doing a great job as well.
Yes, they get a nice push on the defense. Doesn't take much to spring Barnes, but once you do, he can take off. And that time, he just got the push and the wedge inside, and his speed did the rest.
Grizzlies with the football on the 32, their own 32, going right to left in the white uniforms with the yellow helmets. Here's a one-rush play, going for at least 20 yards. That was Nick Melkor going for nearly 20 yards on the ground. He said, you know what, if Pioneer can do it in one play, I'm going to try to do it in one play. And he gets a very big gain, but we have an injured Mustang down on the field around the 29-yard line.
Yeah, while we're waiting for the injured player to be tended to, yeah, that time Melkor, who was a little bit quiet in the first half, needing Packer to run the ball. That time they got Melkor into the game, who incidentally ran for over 100 yards last week against Lynbrook, had a nice gain of 27. And that's just what the Grizzlies needed here to stop some of that momentum that the Mustangs got on their first play of the second half.
Injured player down on the field. So an injury timeout in progress. 11 minutes, 27 seconds on the board here in the third quarter. Pioneer 21, Gunderson nothing. Gunderson with one big rush right there by Nick Melkor for about 20 yards, gives them a first down. They're going to have the ball when we come back at the 50-yard line. Gunderson moving right to left, and the injured Mustang now on his feet, being assisted off the field. And it appears that that was one of the defensive linemen. That was Milo. Milo actually being assisted off the field right there, and we're glad to see that he's moving, but he's taken basically, or I should say there's two coaches actually helping him off. One's the head coach, Perry.
Yeah, you hate to see a player not get off on his home power, Sean. That time he got hurt trying to make that defensive play. That's been an active defense all night here tonight by the Mustangs. Let's hope Milo is just shaken up on the play and is able to come back in, and certainly for the next game, if not this one.
First and 10 Grizzlies.
And on your screen, you get a chance to see what these two teams are fighting for. It's the battle for the bell. Gunderson and Pioneer. Gunderson with the ball going right to left. They have it on the 50, first and 10. Handoff goes up the middle for a gain close to 6 yards. And right now, Gunderson just utilizing that ground attack. They haven't gone to the air too much. It's going to bring up second down.
Yeah, that was Negron that time on the dive pattern. Nice 5-yard gain, and there looks like there's another injury here to a Mustang, Sean, here on back-to-back plays. That dive plays worked well tonight for the Grizzlies as it sets up some of their end runs with their faster players. But let's see who this injury's to. We'll certainly hope that this player's not shaken up too bad.
And it appears that was Jensen Rapp. And we'll give you the official player here in just a second. Rapp number 52 down on the field, and indeed it is Jensen Rapp who is kneeled over at the moment. Fans packed in here at Pioneer High School. Great halftime shows going on, and folks, when I say there's over 1,000 people here, I'm betting my money on it. This place is packed. The Pioneer sideline is completely full. No seats to even take a look at. Every seat is full. You go over by the snack shack, and there are lines beyond lines. Easily over 1,000 people on hand here at Pioneer High School for the Battle of the Bell. Gunderson's crowd on hand. A nice showing from the Grizzly fans. Two schools very close to one another, within 5 miles of each other. Both these teams right now taking a knee for an injury timeout. Jensen Rapp, the injured Mustang.
Yeah, it looks like he may have just had the wind knocked out of him, Sean. Well, you don't want to take that too lightly, of course. But this game getting very physical with these two teams. There's no give up. As you can see, the Grizzlies not intimidated, not rolling over, just because they're down 3 scores here to the Mustangs. PlayOn Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at PlayOn Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school sport action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
As mentioned, Jensen Rapp, the injured Mustang, down on the field now. It appears he's actually he has a cloth that he's putting up to his jaw or over his mouth and nose. He has several trainers down on the field assisting him at the moment. One of the trainers picking up what appears to be something, maybe a piece of the uniform of Jensen Rapp around the 50-yard line. Very hard to tell, but it looks like now we hear the assistance of one of the fans here. It appears that he was bleeding from either his mouth or his jaw, and now they're trying to scrub the blood of Jensen Rapp off the field. High school officials, coaches, and the CIF take this issue very seriously. In fact, if a player is spotted with blood on a body part or a jersey, that player must be removed from the ball game until the blood is wiped up.
Yes, that's one of the newer rules. They take injuries very seriously now with the onset of concussions and many other injuries. CIF is not being too careful on this one, Sean, and rightfully so. We'll hope the young man Rapp here recovers rather quickly. And in the meantime, it's imperative that they do a cleanup procedure in accordance with the rules. So that there's no other further danger to anyone else.
So that's what's going on at the moment here at Pioneer High School. 11 minutes and 12 seconds left in the third quarter. We are at an injury timeout. Jensen Rapp is over on the near sideline. The athletic trainers scrubbing down on the 50-yard line, trying to get that blood off the turf. This is an artificial turf here at Pioneer High School. Majority of the schools now in the CCS section with artificial fields. And with that said, Fred, I've got to ask you, because the debate will go on till the end of time, and it seems like a lot of schools are adapting to new artificial fields. I got to ask you, my friend, what do you prefer? Do you like the old school grass fields, or are you more of a fan of the new artificial?
Well, I'm a grass field fan, but in all fairness to the high schools, artificial surface is easier to maintain over the long run, and weather's much better and stays in much better condition. So in the long run, it's less expensive to maintain, but it is a lot more expensive up front.
Back to the action, 2nd down and 5. Gunderson now with the ball following the injury timeout. Packer's going to pass it. Now he drops the ball towards his hip. He'll rush with it. Crosses the 40, gets a key block, crosses the 30, lowers his shoulder, and gets out of bounds around the 35-yard line. Neely coming up with the tackle.
That was a great play by the quarterback Packer. He fake drop as the ball was hiked. They were looking past, but he dropped right back into the pocket, sprinted left, got a great block by number 27, Melkor that time, and sprung him a little bit further and got a nice gain down to the 26 of the Mustangs.
Grizzlies with the football, 1st and 10, following the big rush on the ground by quarterback Dejon Packer. 10 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Pioneer 21, Gunderson nothing. Gunderson searching for their first touchdown, their first points in this ball game. Melkor will get the carry, but he's tripped up right away. Nowhere to go, and that was Drake Harrell coming up with the tackle initially.
Yeah, it looks like the Grizzlies have come out here in this second half with a little fire in their belly. Coach Papen no doubt gave them a talk to at halftime and said, you guys are better than this, and you know you are. Let's go out and show it. And it looks like their running game certainly has improved here this half, and an exciting player like Packer, at quarterback, is going to keep the defense guessing quite a bit all night. Between that and some consistent running by Melkor, why maybe the Grizzlies could get a score here down deep in Mustang territory.
Harold Lindorfer are two of the linebackers, as well as Gabriel for the Pioneer Mustangs defensive unit. And they're really the leaders for Pioneer. As that rush goes towards the right side, the ball pops loose. Pioneer comes up with the football, but the officials blew the whistles, which indicates that ball is down. But going back to that Pioneer linebacking core, they really paved the way. And right there in the previous play, Harold came up with a key tackle from the mid linebacker position. And when you run a 3-3-5 defense, a lot of pressure on the defensive line, Fred, but when you've got a core linebacking system with three key linebackers like that, it takes pressure off the defensive linemen, and probably more importantly, it takes pressure off the defensive backs, because they know at that point they're going to have a lot of help in the middle, and they can always come up and try to make that last second tackle. Yeah,
it sure does, and with an offense like this that runs sideline to sideline, 4 linebackers gives you much more lateral pursuit, Sean.
Harold showing blitz as the Mike backer position. Tight end switches left to right. Gunderson with the ball. 3rd down and 4. Ball carrier goes right off the center, and it looks like this will be 1 yard shy of the first down marker. The ball was around the 20-yard line, and now it will be posted just shy of the 16.
And it looks like it was almost fumbled on the play, Sean, trying to get official confirmation. And it looks like a penalty declined by the Mustangs. It'll be first down for the Mustangs on the fumble.
So just like that, Gunderson with a drive where we thought things were moving. We thought their offensive rushing attack was starting to come together with their quarterback Packer, Melkor in the tailback field, and all of a sudden they cough the ball up. And now Pioneer will get a chance to really open things up now as they have a 3-touchdown lead.
Yeah, unfortunately here again, the Grizzlies shooting themselves in the foot with a
whistles blow before Dryhoff has a chance to get under center. And that will be a timeout on the field. So timeout on the field, that'll be a Gunderson timeout. That'll stop the clock with 8:39 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. You're tuning in to your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school, playoff, and championship events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com, high school sports lives here.
PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports. We thank you for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. Everyone in the greater San Francisco Bay Area, here in the South Bay, all of you tuning in around the great state of California and across the United States, thank you for tuning in to PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports. We've got a great one here at Pioneer High School. It's the battle for the bell, and right now it's all Mustangs, 21-0 as Gunderson turns the ball over. Mustangs with the ball. It's a handoff towards the left side of the offensive line for a short gain of 1. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, it looked like maybe it was to Barnes over the left side. Check that. Yes, it was Barnes. And that time the right side of the defensive line there for the Grizzlies stepped up, made the tackle. They're not going to be letting anything get wedged up the middle anymore, Sean. I think they certainly felt vulnerable that last time when Barnes sprung it on the same play, but just on the other side.
2nd down and 8 from the 20 for Pioneer. Option pitch towards the near sideline. This is Barnes. Barnes tied up right away. That was Melkor coming up with the tackle, but a flag is thrown. We'll wait to see what the call is right here.
Yeah, that time Barnes didn't quite make it around the edge. And another penalty. This could likely be another hold here on the offense. We'll wait for the call from the officials. But here, a continuation of some penalties. They're going to give the ball to Barnes. He seemed to be able to break a lot of plays here tonight. But between Barnes and the other backs here for the Mustangs, the passing game really doesn't need to work that much if they keep running the ball like this, Sean.
Pioneer 0-1 on the season. They were defeated last week to San Benito of Hollister by a final score of 24-21. Went into 2 overtimes. So they are definitely trying to avenge that loss and tie their record up at 1-1. On the flip side, Gunderson knocked off Lembrook. They are 1-0. But if that score stands, they will fall to 1-1. Officials wave the flag, which indicates no penalty on the field. The penalty is waved off. 3rd down and 2. Inside backer showing blitz for Gunderson. Here they come. Dryhoff rolls out to the far side. Has Barnes. That's Barnes with a nice reception at the 40, and here come another set of flags. The flags are never ending in this ball game.
Yeah, that was a nice rollout by Freihoff. He hits, guess who? Dominique Barnes with his sure hands. And as Barnes went to turn upfield, it would appear that maybe there was a block in the back, Sean, that caused that penalty. And I think that that's really caused a lot of these injuries, and that could indeed what the call will be. We'll see what the officials call it. It looked like
Kyle Cooper was actually in the area.
Cooper on that block in the back, and we'll see what happens here with the call. But unfortunately, will nullify a nice gain on a rollout. As I mentioned earlier, I thought that maybe Coach Berry might come out with a shorter passing game to give a little rhythm to Freihoff in this half, and that was an excellent way of doing it.
Pioneer
without the penalty, it would have turned out much better.
You saw Kyle Cooper come over towards the near sideline, and for a second talking with some of the coaches saying he had grabbed the side of the jersey, but he was in the area, and he was the one that delivered the hit. So the penalty will go against Cooper. It will go against the Mustangs. 1st and 10 following the penalty. The yardage will be pushed back for the Pioneer Mustangs to the 32-yard line. That rush play goes for a gain of 4.
Yeah, Neely, they're squirmed around on the outside. They really like the right side of this line, the Mustangs do. Would appear to be Rap Brusado in the interior, leading the way for a lot of these nice running plays here. 5 yards chews up a lot, and we'll see if the Mustangs don't spring out another one.
Melkor, the outside linebacker, shows blitz. He drops back, and this is Stanton. Stanton, the big man, looking like Mike Allstott as he crosses the 30 and gets tripped up at the last second. Ethan Stanton rumbles and stumbles across the far sideline and gives the Mustang a 1st down. Some very nice yardage, but another flag on the play. We're seeing all sorts of yellow.
Yes, we haven't seen this much yellow in quite some time, Sean. That was a nice run by Stanton and really a touchdown-saving tackle by Tayshawn Clark to save the score, but it looks like it's coming back.
So much for the nice rush. Ethan Stanton breaking away. Stanton wearing number 40. Looking an awful lot like Mike Allstott. And I make the reference a second ago, the way he kind of moves his body. And Allstott, as those of you may remember, a former National Football League player, longtime player for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Allstott had a lot of power, and Stanton just really reminds me of a big bruising back that can lower his shoulder, Fred, pick up a lot of yardage, but when he gets open in space, he can really fly.
Yeah, he sure can. He opened it up there. That time, well, it appears like the Grizzlies are stacking a line against the run here, and once you break through that first layer when they stack the line, there's a lot of room to run.
2nd down and 11 following the penalty. Freihoff passes over towards the far side of the field, and that play was really shot up from the get-go. Barnes was the intended target. Freihoff was supposed to basically execute a play action and set up and almost look like a screenplay for the far side of the field, but he was under pressure right away as soon as he was in his drop back.
Yeah, almost looked like a broken play, Sean, from the get-go. Fortunately, the pass was incomplete and not endangered any type of a turnover. But they'll have 3rd and long this time, and he'll have to go upfield rather easily or to get the first down and keep possession.
Ball on the 31-yard line. 3rd down and 11 for Pioneer. Moving left to right in the blue uniforms. Dryhoff rolls out another play action, and that one is well underthrown. Dominic Barnes, the intended target. Freihoff having a lot of trouble hitting his wideouts tonight. We're seeing some underthrown balls. We're seeing just overall a lot of incomplete passes for Freihoff here this evening.
Yeah, it seems Freihoff has done a lot better when he's been rolling out. When he drops back into position, while he throws off that back foot, he doesn't quite get set, Sean. And he seems to throw off that back foot, lean back, and that takes a lot of zip on the ball. In that case, there were defenders all over Barnes, and he probably would not have gotten much further, academic as it is. But in order for them to be more successful throughout the year, they're going to have to do better with the passing game.
High snap from the nose tackle results in a turnover, and Gunderson capitalizes and takes it into the end zone. That was Matthew Falcon for Gunderson rushing in on the punt return team. The ball goes through the hands of Matt Bloomquist, and that's going to be a Gunderson Grizzly touchdown. Count it for the special teams unit.
That's just what the Grizzlies needed, Sean, to get a little momentum back into this game. They really hadn't had any turnover go their way yet tonight. But that time they were right on the play. They exploited the high snap to the punter and made the touchdown. Now let's see if that doesn't change the momentum of the game a little bit.
So Gunderson capitalizes on a miscue. Bloomquist actually had to jump in the air. That ball went right through his hands. And coming up was Matthew Falcon as he swooped in there and picked up the ball, ran it into the end zone, and that's a Gunderson touchdown. As they now line up for the PAT try, Ulysses Merritt will line up to see if they can make it a 2-touchdown game. PAT's blocked. Deshaun Packer was the holder, and that one is no good. So that will put the score at 21-6 in favor of Pioneer. 6 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter. You're listening in to PlayOnSports.com.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the Play On Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Fred Landis joined alongside me. I'm Sean Hennessy, broadcasting to you live from Pioneer High School. 6 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The Gunderson Grizzlies finally get their points up on the board. Wasn't their offense, wasn't their defense, it was their special teams, Fred, that capitalized on a miscue as the ball went through the punter's hands. That was Bloomquist, the punter for Pioneer. He tried jumping up in the air, but the ball went right through his hands, and Falcon came in and punched it into the end zone. And now we've got a 2-score game as it stands 21-6.
Yeah, we'll see if that turnover and touchdown on the muff to a punt snap gives the Grizzlies a little bit of momentum on defense. We've seen them come back here tonight. They haven't let this game get out of hand, and that's a really good sign of grit in this team to keep fighting and to see if the turnover makes a difference.
Merritt with the kickoff will be taken by the up man of Pioneer around the 20-yard line. Now he crosses over to the 35. I mentioned a 2-score game, but if you're Gunderson at this point, 21-6, you got to convert the touchdown, nail the 2-point try, and then, of course, you need the all-important other touchdown to make this game all tied up. So if you're Gunderson, if you're a fan of the Grizzlies, you got a lot of work to do, but it can be done. We're in the third quarter, 6 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. Pioneer will have the ball now. On offense, they'll be moving left to right on your screen. Blue uniforms, white helmets. Ball on the right hash mark, placed on the 36-yard line. Quarterback Drew Freihoff Looking to his right, barks out some calls now towards the left side of the offensive line. 2 backs behind him as he lines up in the wing tee. Man in motion. This is Stanton. Stanton straight ahead, and he gets smacked by 2 yellow helmets as he gets a gain of about 6 yards.
Yeah, that time the Grizzlies looked like they had 9 in the box, Sean, as I was counting, and Stanton still broke through for 6 yards. That's going to be a problem here for the Grizzlies tonight. If they're stacking a line like that and Mustangs making that kind of running progress, that's problematic for the Grizzlies.
From the 42, 2nd down and 4 for the Mustangs. Freihoff hands it off to his right side. Ball carrier is Devin Appleton as he sees nothing around the middle. Takes it towards the right side, picks up enough for a Mustang first down. So Pioneer moving the chains here. And at this point in the ball game, with all the flags we've seen, Fred, I guess what's the strategy if you're Pioneer, if you're Coach Perry? What are you going to try to do to keep the ball in your offense's possession, and most importantly, try to keep the score the way it is?
Well, I think he'll do low-risk plays, and if he can continue to run the ball like this without any penalties, he'll be in good shape.
This is Appleton once again as he gets some very nice yardage right up the middle. The safeties have to come together to knock him down. He'll get close to 12 yards, and right now I think what we're seeing is a tired Gunderson defense as that play went right up the middle. Devin Appleton getting his 2nd carry in the row. The Mustangs moving the ball nicely.
Yeah, anytime when you've got 8 or 9 in the box and the secondary tackles the runner, in that case Barnes, why it's problematic for the defense. And yeah, they could be wearing down a bit up front. Coach Perry just willing with a passing game like it is to let his running game take over, and he's got a trio of backs with Barnes, Neely leading the way here for the Mustangs tonight, who had a fine game against San Benito, but of course running up a lot more yards on the ground here tonight against the Grizzlies. And as they wear down that line, why I think the coach will just be happy to get out with a W and protect his lead if he can keep it going without any penalties or turnovers.
Injured player down on the field for Gunderson, and that is Dejon Packer, who is listed as the cornerback for Gunderson, and he's also the quarterback for the Grizzlies offense. So scary moment here as the sophomore is down on the field around the 30-yard line being attended to. It appears the training staff taking a look at that left ankle. Dejon Packer, when you talk to the Gunderson coaching staff, there's a lot of excitement around this kid, Fred. Only a sophomore. They have a lot of high expectations out of him, and we've seen some really nice moves from him tonight at the quarterback position. Haven't talked about him so much at the cornerback role, and now we're actually getting a better look at the injured player, and I stand corrected. That was Isaiah Ma, number 4. So that was Isaiah Ma and not Dejon Parker. So correction on the injury player. That's Dejon Ma, who is now being helped off the field.
Yeah, fortunately he's able to get off under his own power, and with 5:11 left here in the quarter, we'll see if the Grizzlies now can stop this ground game by the Mustangs.
1st and 10 for Pioneer. Some great room up the gut. Dominic Barnes getting the call. With that wing tee, it's so compressed, it's such a congested style offense. Really hard to kind of make out the ball carrier. But we're seeing a lot of different names being called here. Appleton, we're seeing Barnes, Ethan Stanton. I'd say the workload is really equalized in this offense.
Yeah, you really don't know who to cover if you're the Grizzlies and who to isolate, because all 3 of them can hurt you. As it looks like right there, Stanton bullies straight ahead there for the first down. And the play before was actually a reverse, inside reverse to Barnes. Which is even more difficult of a timing play for the Mustangs to pull off, but did a nice job at it.
2-yard gain on the previous rush play. Richard Sanchez in on the tackle for the Grizzlies. Ball on the Grizzly 28-yard line. Mustangs with possession, 1st and 10. Ball in between the hashes, man in motion from left to right. That's Appleton. Stanton will get the carry as he goes right side. lowers his shoulder for a gain of a couple right there. Coming up and making the tackle was Horish White.
Yeah, the Grizzlies are going to have to rely here on some turnovers and some takeaways. Last week, the turnover takeaway bug bit the Mustangs against San Benito as a player actually stole the ball out of the running back's hands and took it for a pick six, or I should say a fumble six.
Handoff goes right side. Appleton, Devin Appleton gets the carry. Appleton picks up some very nice yardage right there. And Fred, you mentioned it a few moments ago, the right side of that offensive line, when you take a look at Rapp, Brusado, and count that tight end Joseph Landre, that's where Pioneer likes to move it. They'll go right off the center. They'll go right off of Daniel Brockbank, but they really utilize that right side.
Yeah, they do. They've gotten a nice push off that right side. That right side really pulls nicely, and those backs, that veteran backfield knows how to run behind their blockers, as we see right there with Barnes up the middle.
Barnes breaking away that offensive line, creating some very nice holes for Dominic Barnes. Barnes earlier on in the first quarter scored a touchdown to make it 7-0. Russell Neely in the second quarter made it 14-0.
Gain of 9 on the play, and a Mustang first down.
And then Neely was able to do it again later in the third quarter. One play for 75 yards. And we currently stand at 21-6. The only score for Gunderson came off of a botched special teams try. Ball went through Bloomquist's hands, who was the punter, and Falcon, who was the special teams player, picked up the ball and ran it to the end zone. And right there we see the ball carrier, Devin Appleton, along with Dominic Barnes, go right side. It's going to be first and goal. 2 minutes and 53 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, between Appleton, Barnes, Neely, and Stanton. Why, if you're the Grizzlies, who do you isolate, Sean? Each of these players have hurt the Grizzlies tonight running the ball.
Second and goal for Pioneer. This is Appleton, Devin Appleton getting banged around like a ping pong ball, but he's able to fall into the end zone. And that'll be a Mustangs touchdown. So Devin Appleton punches it right up the middle, stays on his feet, and he gives the Mustangs a 27-6 lead.
Yeah, that time the line behind center, Brookbank, and Rapp the guard, and Harrell, the left guard, paved a nice way for that touchdown by the back.
PAT tries actually blocked. That was Melkor who dove in and blocked the PAT. The whistles finally blow as Clark came up with the ball. He had two players running next to him to see if their special teams unit could do it again. But that's a dead ball, and they will not be able to return it. So the score will stand at 27-6 in favor of the Pioneer Mustangs. You're listening in to PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
Play On Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at Play On Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
27-6 is our score here at Pioneer High School. We'd like to thank everyone tuning in at home, watching our broadcast. It's the Battle of the Bell. And right now, Pioneer up front 27-6 over Gunderson, a packed house here at Pioneer High School. Pioneer really utilizing that rushing attack that they have. And Fred, we talked about it a few moments ago. It's really so hard to key in on those 3-4 guys that they have. Appleton, they have Barnes, they have Neely, they have Stanton. That wing T is just so difficult to stop, especially when you got a good right side of the offensive line.
Absolutely. The big guys up front really make it happen. And as we thought. Coach Berry just willing to put it in the Lions' hands to win this ball game. Not risk the turnover with a passing game that obviously is not working so good here tonight for the Mustangs, but the ground game is more than making up for it.
Tayshawn Clark, the return man for Gunderson, takes it out to the 31-yard line, and that's where the Grizzlies offense will come out and start their next attack. 2 minutes and 41 seconds left in the third quarter. 27-6 is our score. 1st and 10 for Gunderson. They'll be moving right to left on your screen. White jerseys, white pants, yellow helmets, brown trim. Ball on the right hash mark. Pioneers linebacking core backing off now. This is Packer, I beg your pardon. Tied up quickly as he tries to go near side for a gain of 2.
Yeah, so Coach Payton, very well aware of the ability of Deshaun Packer to do some damage in open field. And that was just a plain quarterback keeper, and he had an option, had his tailback. He could have pitched the ball off to, but they're going to want to get the ball in the hands of their game breakers here for a big play. They need to make plays to get back in this game and keep the momentum up, and Packer's just the guy. We'll see what happens here if this time he doesn't try to go up overhead for something deep.
2nd down and 7. Packer tied up but is able to flick the ball to the far side. That's Melkor on the option. He takes it ahead towards the far side for a nice gain, close to 5 yards. So it'll bring up 3rd down and maybe 2 here for the Gunderson Grizzlies. They're going to have the ball just outside the 40-yard line. It actually looks like now, after the officials spot the ball, it's going to be just shy of the 1st down marker. They may even bring the chains out for a measurement.
Yeah, that time Packer ran the option very well. He paid for it, though, and he'll have to learn that in this offense. He took a lick just after he shoveled it off to Melkor, who appeared to get almost the 1st down, and here at 3rd and short, I'm not sure they got it this time.
It appears they did not get the 1st down, as that attempt went towards the right side of the offensive line. It's going to bring up 4th down and 1. 1 minute and 7 seconds left here in the third quarter. Gunderson sticking with their bread and butter with that I option offense. Steve Payton referring to it as the Nebraska offense of the 90s, as the officials actually determined that ball was enough for a Gunderson 1st down, so that will reset the chains and give Gunderson a fresh set of downs. But going back to that option I offense, it's a Nebraska-style offense that was so fluent for the Cornhuskers in the 90s, as they were able to go back-to-back years leading the nation in rushing. And that's what Coach Payton utilizes for his Grizzly offense. That play goes for a minimal gain.
Yeah, the Cornhuskers certainly made that offense come to life. And the Grizzlies have the talent, the type of talent, to make the most of that offense, particularly with a quarterback like Deshaun Packer. And I can certainly see why he wants to keep defenses guessing with that option play and get the ball in open field in Packer's hands as much as possible.
And I tell you what, Mel Sotelo, number 56 for Gunderson on the right side of that offensive line, the junior, who stands at 6'6", 285. He's definitely going to be a player that the coaching staff of the Gunderson Grizzlies is going to want to key in on, because that kid's only going to get bigger. Expect him to be 3 bills when he comes back for his senior season. Third quarter is through. We get ready to start the 4th and final quarter. 27-6 is our score here at Pioneer High School. Mustangs up front. You're tuning in to PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
PlayOn Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at PlayOn Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
And folks, we'd like to remind you to stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com postgame show. Fred and I will have all sorts of stats and analysis to wrap up action here at Pioneer High School. So stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com postgame show. That will be following the game immediately right here on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports. We flip sides now. Grizzlies moving left to right on your screen. They have the ball on their own 43-yard line. Flags thrown, and it appears that we might have a false start.
Yeah, another one of those flags plaguing the Grizzlies here tonight. With a 3-score game, they can't ill afford to start in the hole. They need to try to keep it second and third and short with their ground game, and certainly penalties don't help their case. That time, though, was against the Mustangs, so it helps.
And it's funny, Fred, because we're sitting pretty much that previous play directly on the football. And from this angle, it looked like perhaps one of the offensive linemen jumped, but no, instead it was an offsides call against Pioneer. So that makes it 2nd down and 3. This is Packer rolling out to the far side. Now he tucks the football. This kid is fast as he moves past the 40. Fred, from 1 second, he puts the ball down and goes from 0 to 60 like nothing. That kid just moved down the far sideline and picked up a 1st down for Gunderson. This sophomore is full of talent.
Yeah, we see now why Coach Papin is so high on him as a future star. They can roll him out on that option play, and in all likelihood at this point, with a lack of success in the passing game, I think you're going to see a lot of those great runs, open field runs by Packer. And the Mustangs will have to keep a close eye on him to keep him out of the end zone.
We're in the 4th quarter, 11 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the ball game. 27-6 is our score. Gunderson with the football. That carry goes out to about the 37-yard line. So Grizzlies with the football, moving left to right. They're going to mark this one down around the 37 left hash mark, I beg your pardon. New quarterback under center. This is Ortega. Ortega now under center. Milcor will get the toss carry, and he's thrown down right away. Absolutely nowhere to go, and coming up and making a nice tackle was Daniel Torales.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Torales to cut off Milcor from turning the corner and going upfield on that one. Milcor is not so much their side-to-side runner like Packer will be, but he's more of a vertical runner. That time he tried to get outside. But the speed of the defense and 33 there to tackle him, Daniel Torales, was key to stopping that play.
3rd down and 8 for Gunderson. Surprise, surprise. They line up in the shotgun, and we could have seen that coming. Give credit to Stanton, Ethan Stanton. He may get credit for the tackle right there. Ortega lined up as the quarterback in the shotgun. It was fumbled, and now it's going to bring up 4th down for Gunderson. Fred, the first time tonight we've seen Gunderson utilize the shotgun formation, and they're doing it with the 2nd-string quarterback.
Yeah, they actually, the coach trying to throw a little wrinkle at him. That pass rush could have been getting to anybody dropping back for the pass. They're hoping to go downfield with the shotgun. Avoid the pass rush. That time the snap failed and put them in 4th and long where they have to punt.
On comes the punt team for Gunderson. A nice high knuckleball. Fair caught by Dominic Barnes around his own 15. 9 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. We'd like to remind you once again to please stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com postgame show, where Fred and I will have all sorts of stats and analysis from this football game immediately following the broadcast. So please stay tuned to the PlayOnSports.com postgame show. PlayOn Sports, your destination for high school sports. 27-6 is our score in favor of Pioneer. Pioneer 9 minutes and 25 seconds away from holding on to the Bell Trophy. Mustangs with the ball now, going right to left from their own 16. Handoff goes for a gain of 2.
Yeah, Coach Berry just content now to milk the clock, run the ball like they have so successfully. You might begin to see him rotate his line, who's been fantastic all night, give it to a few of the other backs, but avoid turnovers and penalties, and keep the ball and milk that clock as much as they can.
Here's a handoff towards the left side of the offensive line. That goes for a nice gain. Jeremy Aguinez, who goes left side. Another name that we've called in this this rushing attack for Pioneer: Barnes, Stanton, Neely, Aguinez. It's just really impressive what they're able to do.
It really is. They've got a stable of running backs, and it's very important. They do maybe want to think about resting some of their starters, not to risk some injury. But a player like Aguinez can do a nice job of running the ball just as well as the others.
Fakes the handoff to the motion man. Instead, it will be Aguinez once again who gets the call straight up the gut. And what you're seeing right now is Pioneer really throwing off that defensive line, that linebacking core, by sending what appears to be Neely in motion, Russell Neely, who will go in motion left to right, and then at the last second they decide to hand it off to one of the H-backs or even the fullback, who this time is Jeremy Aguinez.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that Coach Papin doesn't have his big lineman, Sotelo, in at a defensive tackle position. Probably offset a lot of these fullback dive situations and plays. There's really nobody in there that can hold up to the blocking of the Mustang line on defense right now.
Aguinez once again left side, picks up the first down. So Pioneer right now just keeping that ball on the ground. You see Ethan Stanton getting up from that play, providing some key blocking downfield. And right now the Mustangs just trying to keep that clock going. 7 minutes and 49 seconds remaining now in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, interesting to see here now. Will the Grizzlies start to take more swipes at the ball as Freihoff comes up to the line, and he's got a full house backfield, hands it off to the back. Looks like it's Aguinez once again here carrying the load in the fourth quarter, and runs around the left side, gets 5 yards on the carry, and with 5 yards per clip, why it's going to be hard for the Grizzlies to keep the Mustangs from running down the field. As this game ticks away, the clock ticking against here the Grizzlies to get back in with 7 minutes and 5 seconds left remaining. Freihoff comes up to the line with a wing T offense. Man in motion, Neely fakes it inside handoff, tackled just after the line of scrimmage. Aguinez once again just gets a couple of yards. And the tackle there made by Felipe Negron to stop, and that'll be 3rd and 5 here for the Mustangs.
6 minutes, 34 seconds remaining in this football game. It's all Pioneer, 27-6 over Gunderson. Negron with the carry right there, or I beg your pardon, with the tackle rather, for the Grizzlies. Makes it 3rd and 5. Aguinez motions, gets the carry, crosses the 45. Appeared to step out of bounds, but stayed in bounds and picked up enough for the first down. It looked as if maybe his foot went out of bounds around the Grizzly 43, but instead he was able to stay in bounds, Fred, and cross that first down marker. And all Pioneer's doing right now is just really marching that clock down.
Yeah, heads-up play by Aguinez to stay in bounds and keep the clock rolling. His coach Berry will like that one. Keeps it going here, 1st and 10 at the Grizzly 40.
Fresh set of downs for the Mustangs. Ethan Stanton gets the carry. Whistles blow as Stanton is flung down to the ground. Coming up and making the tackle was Matthew Falcon. If you recall, Falcon has the only score for the Grizzlies. He had the fumble recovery on special teams It was a punt try for the Mustangs. He picked the ball up and ran it into the end zone. That's Matthew Falcon. And the penalty call on the field is an illegal procedure against the Mustangs, and now it will be 1st and 15. It's a 5-yard variety.
And that time you saw Falcon really go for the ball. He was looking for his second fumble recovery or pick for the evening, Sean. He went for the ball and happened to tackle the load, who was Stanton. But that's what the Grizzlies are going to have to do to get back in this game, is get the ball out of the hands of the Mustangs.
5 minutes, 35 seconds remaining. Freihoff tried to get the ball to Neely right there. He also had another back next to him, that was Barnes. But Drew Freihoff could not get the ball into his ball carrier's hands. So instead, he just cradles it into his stomach and takes a 5-yard loss.
And Falcon all over this field here makes the play for the second down in a row, getting into the backfield. And it looks like maybe the Grizzlies are just stunting on defense, just trying to disrupt. And it appears, at least for now, to be working here against the Mustangs.
2nd down and 20. This is Dominic Barnes. Barnes still alive, spinning all over the place as he's finally drilled close to the 30-yard line. He needed 20. It looks like he's going to pick up close to 17 yards on the ground.
Yeah, this time the left side of the line there for the Mustangs. Harrell and Gopashin making the plays, allowing Barnes to use his speed, get on the outside and the edge, and the way he was spinning and bouncing off tacklers, Sean, he almost made you wonder if he wasn't going to take it to the house.
4 minutes and 14 seconds left here in the ball game. Pioneer with a 27-6 lead. Trying to maintain possession of the Bell Trophy. It's the Battle of the Bell going on here at Pioneer High School in San Jose, California. Mentioned to you earlier that the broadcast booth is located outside amongst the students and fans, and we're trying to dodge and weave the t-shirt gun as a t-shirt cannon fires more and more t-shirts in our direction as the ball carrier takes it ahead for a gain close to 10. One of those times as a broadcaster, Fred, you try to keep your eyes on the action, but you also gotta key in on the different types of t-shirts that are being flung in your general direction.
Yeah, tonight you gotta watch the field and the t-shirts being shot from the sideline, Sean. You keep it up, you might get a souvenir to take home with you tonight.
I better let them know I'm about a large, maybe a medium. It'll be 1st and 10, 3 minutes and 48 seconds left in the ball game. This is Dominic Barnes, slips one tackle, still on his feet, falls forward past the 20-yard line. This will be close to 7, maybe 8 yards on the ground. Dominic Barnes started the Pioneer scoring attack. He had the very first touchdown in the ball game way back in the first quarter. He's been a workhorse for Pioneer, along with Ethan Stanton, Russell Neely, Jeremy Aguinez. The Pioneer Mustangs have a lot of players in that backfield that they can utilize at any given time if they want to rush the football. 3 minutes, 9 seconds left in the ball game. 2nd down and 4. Mustangs going right to left in the blue uniforms. Ethan Stanton, he gets the carry. This will be good enough for another Mustang first down.
Yeah, the way Stanton takes that ball, Sean, he looks almost like one of the other smaller brethren running backs because he's got a great first step and he's very quick. Good burst of speed for a big man his size, and that's another first down for the Mustangs.
The ball is now placed on the Grizzly 11-yard line. 1st and 10 for Pioneer. Barnes in motion. Ethan Stanton gets the carry, but he gets tackled right away. As soon as he touches the football, he actually falls forward. That defensive line for Gunderson, they've been trying to get in that backfield all night. And right there, that was Matthew Falcon who dove ahead and got his right hand in there to stop the play.
Yeah, Falcon has really been the man here for the Grizzlies here late in the fourth quarter. When a play is disrupted, you can almost count on Falcon being involved. And it just shows the grit in this no-quit Grizzly team, and he's one of the reasons why. It looks like as the Mustangs get closer, it's getting tougher.
Falcon on the right side of that defensive line. As the ball carrier, Dominic Barnes, goes towards the left side, spins, and gets it inside the 5-yard line now. They're going to mark this ball down at the 4, so it appears it's going to be 3rd down and 2 for Pioneer. 1 minute and 38 seconds marching away in the 4th quarter. We're about to wrap things up here at Pioneer High School. Pioneer with a hefty 27-6 lead. We'd like to remind you to stay tuned to the PlayOnSports.com post-game show. Fred and myself will wrap things up and bring you some statistics and total game analysis as we're now approaching the final minute of play here at Pioneer High School. The battle for the bell will maintain in possession of Pioneer, and you know when that clock strikes 0, the fans here are going to go crazy. We may even hear that bell ringing.
And there you see Fryoff taking a knee. And look, it appeared just to let this clock run out. Coach Berry, as his good friend, is Coach Papin across the field, Sean, and he's simply not going to run up the score against his old buddy from his playing days. A very sportsmanlike move by Coach Berry to kill a little clock here with a game clock winding down.
Coach Papin and Coach Perry, very good friends. We saw that down on the field. When we were talking with both coaches, they were joking around with one another. They were shaking hands. And you don't see that all that often. I mean, you do see the camaraderie at the high school level amongst coaches, but you could really tell, Fred, they had a very strong friendship. And I totally agree with you. It's a nice play call right there as Pioneer just takes a knee once again.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can catch highlights from tonight's game on Cal High Sports Bay.
To let the ball stay down on the field. The clock is briefly stopped with 19 seconds, so I apologize there for the long pause. But what Pioneer did was they actually took a knee on 4th down, so they turned the ball over on downs. They did not go for the touchdown. And that just goes back to the camaraderie amongst these two coaches. Coach Perry said, hey, the heck with that. We've got a 27-6 lead. Take a knee. Let them get one more play, and then we'll get out of here with a victory.
Yeah, a class move once again. Quite often you see a knee, but rarely do you see a team take a knee and give the ball over to the other team.
Inside the 5-yard line.
Absolutely.
So the Grizzlies now with one last chance, possibly maybe a kneel of their own, and that's exactly what they'll do. 15 seconds, 14 seconds. That's going to do it from Pioneer High School. And you hear the bell ringing. Fans going crazy as the Pioneer Mustangs maintain possession of the Bell Trophy. They are the Battle of the Bell winners, 27-6. Pioneer over Gunderson. 27-6 is our final score here at Pioneer High School. Folks, stick around. Fred and I are going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to announce our PlayOnSports.com player of the game, and then we're also going to go ahead and do a PlayOnSports.com post-game show. So stick around. We'll be right back with some more action and highlights for you. Once again, final score 27-6 in favor of Pioneer over Gunderson. You've been tuning in to PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
4th and 10 from the 41-yard line for St. Augustine. Kennedy dropping back to pass. Looking left, firing, incomplete, intended for Noland. No penalty flags on the field. Mar Vista will take over on downs, and Jordan Lertique will take that knee
And the Mar Vista Mariners knock off the number 2 seeded St. Augustine Saints at Mesa College in a dominating performance on both sides of the football for Mar Vista. They trailed 14-0 and came back.
Again, down 2-0, facing adversity, and they've really just turned the table around since game number 3. Set an attack, great block made back inside the Maverick zone. A chance there by Bosback back inside the Maverick zone. Ball attacked there by Bosback, a second opportunity by Bosback. Lift violation call. It's over the neck call. Oh my goodness! Bosback reached over on the attack. A Maverick error wraps up the title for the Presentation Panthers. A 15-9 victory in game number 5, and they wrap it up coming back from 2-0 down match-wise and take it 3 games to 2.
36-35 and driving, and oh baby! Shrigley with the jam, and it was with emphasis. And it's the foul, and listen to these fans.
Do you know who's standing up right behind us? Tony Bland, who is the head recruiter for San Diego State. I think he's drooling. Somebody get that man a napkin.
Quick score on this drive. There goes a handoff to Zeller, trying to go straight ahead, but he is met by Wall. Now he breaks out to the outside, gets across the 30, 35, on the right, 40, midfield. He's running down the sidelines. He's going to go all the way as he's at the 10, 5, touchdown. Patrick Zeller he stood up at the line of scrimmage and broke out to his left to the far sidelines, and he was in a foot race, and he went all the way for the touchdown. Broke a tackle and made it nice and showed his speed as he got outside for the touchdown.
Back in the backfield to the left is Campbell. Hernandez takes the snap, play action to Campbell. Looks down the field. Now here comes the pressure. He's going to be hit. He breaks the tackle, rolls left. Now he's going to cut upfield. He's going to break another tackle, and then another tackle down the sideline. Gets a block inside the 5. What a touchdown! Hernandez goes 33 yards in spectacular fashion, breaking 4 tackles along the way, including 2 in the backfield, and Hilltop has tied this one up at 29.
Grant with a big, strong defensive rebound. He brings it back down the floor again, and another slam dunk. Jeremy Grant can run the point, and he can fly. Huge dunk, 2 big dunks in the last
Bullard
minute.
trying to close it out. Deep ball, up in the air, Cram. Bringing it back, Arbizo. Cram over in 3, free opportunity. Look for Rodabaugh, no, pass middle, Weimer! Ball game. 25-19. Foothill wins it 3-1.
Because this kid has definitely proven that he can make things happen here in this ball game.
They will go with him. Bula Graft on a stretch run, just breaking tackles. The little man is in the clear to Tory territory. The 25, the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown Knights. What a run, the freshman, Bula Graft.
Ooh, I tell you what. There were at least 3 times on that run that he should have gone down or he should have been wrapped up. Missed tackles there, cost La Jolla Country Day as.
Welcome back to PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports. I'm Sean Hennessy. Joined alongside me is Fred Landis. It's the PlayOnSports.com post-game show live from Pioneer High School. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Final score, Pioneer 27, Gunderson 6. And Fred, just a few moments ago, we saw the Mustang players run over towards the Bell Trophy, all gathered around it, took some pictures. What a great feeling, especially for the seniors. Not a lot of schools get a chance to interact in a rivalry like this, especially when you have an object, a trophy to battle over. So it's really a special feeling for these young athletes out there.
Yeah, it is. You could see the excitement on their faces just getting a chance to do that in front of the cameras. It's a memory they'll keep, certainly for the rest of their life, and makes for an exciting rivalry. And as we saw, a very sportsmanlike rivalry between these 2 coaches here tonight.
You're tuning in to the PlayOnSports.com post-game show. Once again, final score 27-6 in favor of Pioneer. We always select our PlayOnSports.com player of the game, and I think it's safe to say that the player that actually scored early on and kind of capped it off towards the end, Dominic Barnes, number 24, has earned our PlayOnSports.com player of the game honors. I mentioned it earlier on in the broadcast, some technical difficulties with our audio equipment here, so unfortunately couldn't get him up to the booth, but we wanted to give him some love here in the broadcast booth because Barnes had a really nice ground game here tonight. He had a lot of help from his other rushers. Stanton, Neely got the ball quite a few times, but when Barnes touched it, you almost had the feeling that he was going to take it for the distance.
Yeah, you did. I mean, he's got great speed on the edge. Began bouncing off of tacklers in the second half, Sean. Really showing a little bit of power with a burst of speed that he also possesses. And you can see why now. He attended UCLA's camp, and you see why there's some interest at the next level by coaches for Dominique Barnes, as he had multiple scores here this evening, showing why it's very hard to stop that Mustang running game, especially with a stable of backs beyond Dominique Barnes, who also had very fine games.
Final score, Pioneer 27, Gunderson 6. Fred, when you take a look at this game and you go back from start to finish, first quarter to fourth quarter, Pioneer really kind of set the tone, but you've also got to keep in the fact that there were quite a few penalties in this ball game, so you almost have to ask yourself, if there weren't that many penalties, do you see the outcome of this game? Do you see the score being a little bit different? Because the Mustangs shot themselves in the foot quite a bit, especially on the offensive front.
Yeah, I certainly do, Sean. Without these penalties, there'd be much greater opportunity for them to move the ball. It seemed just when they were getting rhythm, moving down the field, why the penalty bug would hit them. It'd be a procedure call or a holding call on their line and would stop their progress and their momentum. And certainly they gave it all tonight. We didn't see anybody give up on that field, and testament to Coach Papin, but certainly there have been more scores for the Grizzlies here tonight without those penalties. And the 3 turnovers certainly made a difference as well, not in their favor.
Pioneer maintains possession of the Bell Trophy. They'll hold on to it for another year. If you're Gunderson gets ready to take on Overfelt. They're actually going to face Overfelt next Friday night as they get ready to advance into the next round of their schedule. This is actually the second road game of their schedule, Fred, so it'll be nice for Gunderson. They're going to come away from this game, obviously it's a loss. They're going to fall to 1-1. Both teams will fall to 1-1 for that matter. But if you're Gunderson, you get a chance to go home in front of your home crowd, take on Overfelt. And if you're Gunderson, what do you take away from this game to utilize in week number 3?
Well, I think we've seen some great offensive production out of the backfield, certainly with Packer being a multi-threat, dual-threat quarterback, running and passing the ball. They certainly had that to take forward into the conference play. As I said, they're still in pre-conference play, and I think they've certainly learned that penalties were one of their biggest enemies here tonight. They can clean some of those up. They can have some momentum on offense like they did last week against Lynbrook. Why, they're going to do some damage here in the conference as it starts.
Congratulations to Dominic Barnes, our PlayOnSports.com player of the game. Congratulations to the Pioneer Mustangs. They now advance to 1-1. Gunderson falls to 1-1 as well. Final score 27-6 in favor of the Pioneer Mustangs. They win the battle for the belt. I'd like to thank my videographer, Nico Chastain, my producer, Kevin Smith, and my analyst, Fred Landis. I'm Sean Hennessy saying thank you for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. That'll do it from Pioneer High School, 27-6. Pioneer wins the battle for the bell. Thanks once again for tuning in to PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports. Bye-bye.